What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 4HH Chapter 101 Konoha Destruction Project, Cloud Shinobi's Sharingan Unit, 4th more seeking subscription. Sarutobi Hiruzen was also shocked by Gaara's exposed face and identity. His first reaction was to question 4th Raikage next to him. Why didn't he inform Konoha that Gaara was San Shinobi's Shozuru Jinchuriki? You know, the act of letting Jinchuriki from one village enter another village is quite dangerous. If Gaara runs away in Konoha, Sarutobi Hiruzen instantly dreamed of the disaster of Nine Tails 12 years ago. That incident, although he returned to the pinnacle of power. But the loss of Namikaze Minato also made Konoha's military strength plummet. However, not waiting for Fei Hiruzen questioned. The roar coming from the arena below contemplated Sarutobi Hiruzen's thinking again. Turn around and look around. I saw it around Naruto's body. The crimson chakra hovered and faintly turned into 9 long-tailed spirals soaring into the sky. And the yelling Naruto's facial features are like Gaara's, and they are arguing for treatment. Even Naruto, Kakashi's face changed drastically. The battle of Jinchuriki is going in the worst direction. If one-tailed Jinchuriki Gaara and 9 tails Jinchuriki Naruto run wild at the same time. Can't imagine what will happen. Under the roar, Naruto exploded at a speed more terrifying than Rock Lee, who unloaded the load. Even Hinata, Kimimaro and Shiro on the spectator stage changed their expressions slightly. Naruto, who rushed to Gaara in the half-show crane form in an instant, knocked away Gaara who had suppressed him just now with a punch. Naruto roared, while launching continuous punches and kicks like a violent storm. Both Kankuro and Temari are stupid. They had never seen that Gaara in that form would be suppressed to this level. Uzumaki Naruto. Gaara roared. The half-show crane-shaped Gaara, and the sand arm resembled Luffy's rubber fruit. The stubborn elder grabbed Naruto. And Naruto also waved his hand, and the fox claws formed by 9 tails chakra stretched rapidly and collided with Gaara's civet cat claws. Both sides erupted with a shockwave of destruction that ordinary Jonin dared not compare with. Is that Naruto? The two pillars who had woken up looked incredulously at Naruto, who was constantly confronting Gaara in the arena. He thought he had become strong enough this month. But I didn't expect that I was first taught by Yèyuè Hinata to be a man. Advertisement now, even Naruto has been regarded as the tail of a crane. Also ran ahead of him. Stop them both, stop it. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen can no longer care about other things. These two people are obviously on the verge of running away. If one tail and 9 tails both run into Konoha, damn it, Konoha pills. No one is allowed to move. However, just when many Konoha Jonin heard Hokage's order, they were ready to stop them. Yèyuè Guāng's understatement made them stop abruptly. Kill whoever moves. How can you stop such an interesting thing? Yèyuè Guāng smiled and said. For a while, countless people looked at Yèyuè Guāng with incredible eyes. What is this person talking about? Screams repeated. In the end, the Shohei with the least tail among the 9 big-tailed beasts is still impossible to compare to the fox with the most tails. In a strong unwilling cry, the tail beast chakra in Gaara erupted. Even if they had seen the deterrent power of the Yèyuè Guāng Thunder Giant half a month ago, they were all shocked by the scenery in front of them. The civet cat, which almost squeezed the entire venue, finally appeared. Tail beastization full body form. Trouble, it's too late. Kakashi waited for Jonin with cold sweat on his face, and at this time he ignored Yi Guang's threats. Just rushed towards Naruto at least to prevent Naruto from continuing to run violently. Seeing this, Yèyuè Guāng smiled slightly, raised his right hand high and then snapped. The fingertips of the thumb and middle finger were rubbed, and there was a crisp snapping sound. Scorched style over steaming. A few crimson great fireballs flew out from nowhere, with magma-like high temperature, as if they had an additional tracking function, besieging the Kakashi that jumped out from 4 directions. Front, back, left, and right. What? Kakashi's face changed suddenly, but he relied on his fighting instinct for more than 2 decades. The first time the seal counterattack. Ninfa Earth-style wall. An earthen wall with the head printed on it rises around the body. But in the face of the crimson fireball, it was burnt through in an instant as if using paper to resist the fire. But even so, Kakashi didn't buy time. Advertisement. -0 seeking flowers. Jumped into the air, avoiding the fireball's attack. Scorched style. Difficult. Could it be? Kakashi quickly lifted the forehead protector, revealing Sharingan and turning to look. A tall woman wearing a Cloud Shinobi Anbu mask was found, rushing out of the player's viewing platform, standing right in front of her. Just now you were the Captain Anbu of Cloud Shinobi, Joe, right? Why is Captain Anbu of Cloud Shinobi here? And attack me? However, Kakashi's questioning has just issued countless sudden changes. The snapping finger of Yèyuè Guāng just now is the signal that the plan has begun. Konoha Destruction Plan. The predators who have already lurked around, after receiving the instructions from the leader, can't wait to start taking action. First, it is Rosa, sitting on the right side of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Suddenly rushed, his left hand took out a handful of kunai from his arms, went around Sarutobi Hiruzen's neck from behind, and pressed kunai against the local throat. His right hand pressed tightly on his shoulder. The surrounding Anbu team members, including Azuki Yuyan, who was in charge of guarding, even failed to respond. Different from the original work, Orochimaru did not deliberately shift the battlefield, nor did the Atonin 4 use the 4 purple flame formations as a protective barrier. Because it's not necessary. Master Naruto, at this time, Azuki Yuyan waited for the Anbu team members to come to consciousness and wanted to rush to save people. However, the change has returned. Don't get in the way. A burly, blonde one-eyed young man about 15 years old rushed out of the crowd, drawing a knife to block Azuki Yuyan and the others. It is Yèyuè Guāng's brother-in-law Azzy. Several Cyclops also rushed out instantly. Anbu, who flew Konoha with 1 foot. Uchiha Flame Array. Hidden in the auditorium, a smart young woman rushed to the VIP seat on the far right side, like a summoning technique, applying the palm of her right hand, on the ground. Howling, a translucent light red cuboid enchantment. The enchantment that rose in an instant, shut these powerful officials and upstarts in it. Well, what's going on? The River Country daimyo said in horror. Don't worry, everyone. The black-haired woman smiled slightly, this is to protect you. Uchiha Flame Array. Countless Konoha shinobi people turned their heads in shock. Because, why can anyone still use Uchiha's higher barriers, again? Chapter 102 by the order of Lord 5th Hokage Hinata, 5th more seeking subscription. Uchiha Izumi gently tucked the bangs on his forehead. Yèyuè Guāng had an order in advance, these officials are all for the money bag, but they can't be killed. It will be of great use in the future. The Konoha collapse plan designed by Orochimaru will also be a mess. But not many of these powerful figures are involved, because Sand Shinobi also understands this truth. What's wrong? What happened? Master Naruto was hijacked by Feng Ying. Where did these people come from? Wait a minute, they're doing it, stop it. The turmoil continues to change. The Konoha shinobi and civilians at the scene also gradually reacted to the situation. In the arena, One-Tailed Shuhei went into full form and ran away, and the situation of Nine-Tails Naruto is still unknown. On the roof, the Wind, 67-0, Shadow hijacked Hokage, the situation is extremely crisis. In the auditorium, the mysterious woman unfolded the enchantment and imprisoned important figures from all over the world. However, things are not over yet. Rumbling, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was hijacked by Rosa, looked into the distance. It was found that the wall of Konoha village in the distance was smashed to pieces. A demon cat full of blue flames was roaring and destroying Konoha. It seems to reproduce the tragedy of Nine-Tails 12 years ago. That's her way. At this moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen can't care about the crisis of being hijacked by Feng Ying. Near One Tail, there are 2 tails far away. At the same time, Naruto's situation seems to be extremely unstable, with the possibility of running away at any time. There is no doubt that this is the biggest crisis in the history of Konoha Kenkun. Kasuke-sama, Lord Hikari, Sand Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi, what do you want to do? Sarutobi Hiruzen, who forcibly calmed himself down, shifted the focus of his pupils to the rear, suppressing the intense anxiety and reluctantly remained calm. If there is anything we can negotiate, war is the most undesirable method. Haha, how can Konoha have the qualifications for peace talks now, and who would have the habit of peace talks with lambs to be slaughtered on the cutting board? You say yes. At this point, Luosha's tone suddenly changed and became sullen and low. At the same time, the right hand, which was originally pressed on Sarutobi Hiruzen's shoulder, also tore off the epidermis of his face under the unbelievable eyes of the other party. Ms. Sarutobi, advertisement seeing the true face of the other party, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes almost went out of his sockets, and he wanted to speak his name by crushing his teeth. Orochimaru. Revealing his true colors, Orochimaru loosened the kunai on the throat of Sarutobi Hiruzen, walked aside with a smile, and said with his back to his mentor. How? Teacher, it's a beautiful view, isn't it? Sarutobi Hiruzen trembled all over, and then looked at Yèyuè Guāng, who was sitting in the middle of the auditorium, almost holding popcorn and cheering. Yèyuè Guāng, Your Excellency, is this Cloud Shinobi's plan? Join Sand Shinobi and Otoyuki to launch an aggressive war against Konoha. After hesitating, Sarutobi Hiruzen still added the honorific title. He still wants to resolve the immediate crisis through peace talks. Even if it is to sacrifice something. Actually, Cloud Shinobi planned to do this when Namikaze Minato died, but it was a pity that Konoha still had considerable combat power at that time, so I didn't do it. After all, the Uchiha clan is still there. Yèyuè Guāng crossed his feet, placed him on the front step seat, and said with his back. It's not the same now. Konoha is already weak and I can't stand it anymore. Don't occupy the pit or shit, and quickly give up your position. Having said that, Yèyuè Guāng raised his horns slightly and announced. The act of equating oneself with Konoha ends here. Starting today, Yèyuè Hinata is Konoha's 5th Hokage. Yèyuè Guāng's passage is like another blockbuster dropped in the boiling magma. Make the main volcano burst open. They thought that the shadow that Yèyuè Guāng said before that Hinata would become a shadow refers to Raikage. But I didn't expect it to refer to Hokage. Naturally, other people needn't say much. Even Hyuga Hisashi, Hyuga Neji, and even Hyuga Hanabi on the other side of the auditorium are dumbfounded. Let Hinata be Hokage. Hinata was forced to hand over to an abandoned son of Cloud Shinobi Village. Now he can't help returning with the strength that everyone can't match, and he will straighten his sword to Hokage's position. Such a huge contrast, not to mention Konoha's ordinary ninja. Even the Hyuga family is unacceptable for a while. This is impossible. As a shrewd politician, Sarutobi Hiruzen knows Yèyuè Guāng's thoughts very well. Don't look at Hinata still has a pair of Hyuga by Kugan. 0. However, after 12 years, it is almost 13 years. Regardless of her surname, psychology, or beliefs, she has already become Yèyuè Guāng, and she has become a member of Lei Zhiguo who considers all interests from the perspective of Cloud Shinobi Village. On the surface, Yèyuè Hinata is the Hokage. In fact, Yèyuè Guāng is controlling it. Advertisement such a person is public for private. Sarutobi Hiruzen will never make her the next Naruto. It doesn't count if you say it, it doesn't count if anyone of Konoha says it, what I said, only counts. Yèyuè Guāng smiled contemptuously. Stop them. Sarutobi Hiruzen shouted with split eyes. Most of Konoha's ninjas with the strongest illusion will fire, still have nothing to say about his loyalty to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Even if I witnessed it half a month ago, Yèyuè Guāng showed strength that is not in the same dimension as them. However, driven by the powerful force of MLM, he did not hesitate to pull out coup and rush towards Yèyuè Guāng. 8 trigrams air palm, however, what everyone did not expect was. Suddenly Hyuga Hinata shot from behind. With a single blow, the 2 Konoha Chunin who were trying to attack Yèyuè Guāng were shot dead instantly. Shen Luo Tianzheng and Hinata rushed from the other side. With a flick of the little hand, all the remaining people were bounced away. Hi, Patriarch Hinata, you, what are you doing? Ta Rihong, Might Guy and others looked at Hyuga Hinata in amazement. 2.3 How can I not believe that, as the Patriarch of Konoha nowadays, he actually killed his own people? The Hyuga clan listens to orders. However, Hyuga Hinata didn't respond at all, focusing chakra on his throat and shouting. By the order of Lord Yèyuè Guāng and Lord 5th Hokage, Sarutobi. Although he has hardly beaten anyone in the original book, it is Jonin anyway. Hyuga Hinata's full throat, still resounding through half of Konoha. At this moment, it is not just other Konoha shinobi. Even Nara Shikahisa, Akamichi Dinza and others rushed to deal with the Cloud Shinobi unit led by Wooden Golem when they heard Hyuga Hinata's words from a distance. The expressions became extremely exciting. Pro, turn to battle? No. You're falling down too quickly, right? Chapter 103 Information Explosion, 6th More Seeking Subscription. Hinata. You betrayed the village. Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes stared like brass bells. Although Hinata is her biological daughter, Yèyuè Guāng supports his daughter to become a Hokage. No matter how he thinks, it is a matter of only making a profit. But Sarutobi Hiruzen did not expect Hyuga Hinata to turn around so quickly. As soon as Yèyuè Guāng showed his fangs, he immediately led the Hyuga family to defect. Damn it, do you want to be so realistic? Many Konoha shinobi in the surroundings are also desperate. Following the demise of Senju and Uchiha, Hyuga is naturally Konoha's #1 gate. However, now that the war has not officially started, Hyuga is the first to turn to the battle. This is undoubtedly a devastating blow to Konoha's morale. Betrayed the village? No, Sarutobi Patriarch, you are still as arrogant as you always have, always equating yourself, your elders and Konoha. Hyuga Hinata hugged his arms in front of Yu Hung, his facial features were full of disdain, and then said. This is not a betrayal, but a revolution. I just want to support people who are more suitable for Hokage's position. Whether it was killing Sarutobi Shinosuke and Sarutobi Rai, or Genko Tetsu and Kamizuki Izumo, it was all for Konoha. Boom. The second half of Hyuga Hinata's words, like a bomb, exploded the brains of all Konoha staff. One of them couldn't help but grow their mouths to the point where their chins were about to fall on the ground. The death of Sarutobi Shinosuke and Sarutobi Rai 6 years ago. Judging from the iron sand left on the scene, everyone's first reaction object is the third case cage, who has been missing for many years and is famous for the iron sand technique. Half a month ago, the target of suspicion was transferred to Yèyuè Guāng, who was manipulating iron sand with electric waves. However, who would have thought that the real murderer would stay in Konoha all the time? Big brother, are you serious? Hyuga Hinata, who had exactly the same face as Hyuga Hinata, also trembled with fright, the iron sand on the scene. Oh, I stayed there on purpose to blame Sand Shinobi. Yèyuè Guāng leisurely said, I thought that the country of fire and the country of wind could go to war, but I didn't expect that the third generation Sama of your village was really able to endure it. Konoha looked at Hyuga Hinata and Yèyuè Guāng standing and sitting in a stunned manner. Also, in other words, the two had colluded as early as 6 years ago. Advertisement hold on. Just now Hyuga Hinata seemed to say that Gongza Tetsu and Kamizuki Izumo were also killed by him? Their death time should have been 5 years ago, the night of Zizibo's annihilation. You stole Sharingan. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was still in anger, suddenly reacted, pointing to Yèyuè Guāng and sternly shouted. 5 years ago, when the Uchiha clan was extinct, all the Sharingan that Danzo was thinking of was poached away. Sarutobi Hiruzen was still secretly happy in his heart. Although I don't know who did it, but it can make Danzo, who has a worse relationship with him, suffer such a big loss, and also put the blame on it. For myself, it is tantamount to double happiness. However, now, these Sharingan who disappeared back then, appear on Cloud Shinobi Ninja after another. Think carefully. Sarutobi Hiruzen can't wait to give himself a slap in the face. Actually ignored these important issues. Brother-in-law, is this old man suffering from Alzheimer's disease? At this time, he reacted. Otzi turned Byakugan and took off the blindfold of his left eye. A scarlet 3-tomo Sharingan, shining with a coquettish red light. We didn't steal, we just picked up things Konoha didn't want. After all, we didn't kill people. On the other side, she also took off the blindfold and connected with the doctor. One after another, Cloud Shinobi Ninja after another, took off the blindfold on his face or the forehead protector that covered one eye. One by one Sharingan, after 6 years, reappeared in the world. Why? Kurama Yakumo, Yamanaka Ino and other Xiaoqiang are all stupid. At the beginning of the game, they found that there were many Cyclops in the audience. But I couldn't think of it, under the blindfold of those people, it was Sharingan. Well, what is going on? What is going on here? The most shocking person at the scene was Uchiha Sasuke, who was completely confused by the current situation. If Yèyuè Guāng had said what they had said before that, he could barely understand. Advertisement: it should be Cloud Shinobi launching a surprise attack on Konoha. So now, these two Cloud Shinobi showed his Sharingan, which made him feel that the whole worldview had collapsed. Sasuke, the specific reason, I will tell you after the war is over. At this time, Uchiha Spring beside Uchiha Flame Ray said softly. She has both eyes Sharingan. Ta Rihong discovered the difference between this young woman and other Sharingan owners, including Kakashi, that her eyes are all Sharingan. Then only one problem is explained: she, like Uchiha Sasuke, is of pure Uchiha blood. Impossible. Why are there Uchiha people alive? Back then back then Uchiha Itachi should have killed all Uchiha. Sarutobi Hiruzen said that the shock to him today is more than in this life. The candidate sent by San Shinobi to take the Chunin exam was Jinchuriki. Feng Ying is disguised by 670 Orochimaru. Yèyuè Guāng plans to support Hinata as a 5th Hokage. His son and daughter-in-law were killed by Hyuga Hinata. A bunch of ninjas in Cloud Shinobi Village have Sharingan. And now, another survivor of the Uchiha family has emerged. I'm sorry I'm still alive, Lord Naruto, it was Everbright who saved me, but my mother and all my people died. Uchiha Quan coldly glanced at Sarutobi Hiruzen, and in an instant, her 3-hooked jade turned into a cross dart. Mangekyo Sharingan. In an instant, Konoha's many ninjas once again set off a stormy sea. Not only the survivor of Uchiha, but also the holder of Mangekyo Sharingan. They have begun to shudder. How many hole cards does Cloud Shinobi keep? Quan. Sister Quan? Yes, is it Sister Quan? After Uchiha Sasuke watched for a while, he finally recognized the opponent through the tear mole under Uchiha Azumi's right eye. Sasuke, wait a minute, I will explain everything to you. Now I will give you a task to get 2 members of the Konoha elders, Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura. Uchiha Quan quickly said to Uchiha Sasuke, although they were once Jonin recognized by 2nd Hokage, they are now too old to withstand a single blow, and you can beat them. Chapter 104 Cyclops show off their power, first more seeking subscription. After hesitating for less than a second, Uchiha Sasuke nodded in response. I see, Sister Quan, but after the matter is over, you must tell me what happened. After speaking, Uchiha Sasuke turned around and was about to rush to the administrative building, following Uchiha Quan's orders to arrest Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura. Sasuke. Don't mess around. Kakashi was shocked when he saw this, and hurried to chase his disciple, trying to stop him. As the highest elder with Konoha power almost equal to the 3rd Hokage of Sarutobi Hiruzen. If Sasuke did to them, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, a handful of kunai suddenly rushed between Kakashi and Uchiha Sasuke. Please don't get in the way, can you? As soon as the afterimage flickered, Uchiha Spring suddenly flashed out, took the kunai in the air, and rode towards Kakashi. This is, teachers, in shock, Kakashi quickly backed away. However, even so, Kawu's tip cut through the corner of his mask, leaving a shallow blood mark on the bridge of his nose. Teacher's Flying Thunder God, but it's a bit different. Is it the original version of Master 2nd Hokage? Even the original Flying Thunder God developed by Senju Toburama still has a speed that 99% of ninjas in the ninja world cannot match. Little Sakura. Go chase Sasuke. Kakashi, who was blocked by Uchiha Spring, had no choice but to order his last disciple to act. Ta Rihong also Chao Qian Jaya and other Xiaoqiang said. You guys go. The battle here is not something you can participate in now. Roar. Shuhei in the arena suddenly let out a roar, locked the target on Naruto, and roared. I want to kill you, Uzumaki Naruto, Naruto, don't worry about other things, the civet cat will leave it to you. Yèyuè Guāng stood up from his seat and said, pointing to Shuhei. With 9 tails red on his body, Chakra Naruto heard the words and nodded after hesitating for 2 seconds. Like the original, he began to concentrate on dealing with Gaara. To be honest, Yèyuè Guāng and Sarutobi Hiruzen just said a lot of things. For his simple-minded Ashura reincarnation, it is too complicated. And because Yèyuè Guāng and Terumi Mei helped themselves 6 years ago. Naruto is still very fond of this uncle, although for some reason he quarreled with Grandpa 3rd generation. But I can't figure out what's going on, so I'll do my best to deal with the civet cat in front of me. And the mice hiding in the dark, can you come out and talk? Although you know that your style of behavior is like this, but Sarutobi Hiruzen is dead, can you group of mice survive? Advertisement Yèyuè Guāng spoke again, but there was no response from around. A second later, Yèyuè Guāng waved with one hand. The violent iron sand roars from below the surface like a waterfall, turning into countless iron sand whips. In an instant, the mice that were eavesdropping hidden in the dark corners were picked out. Roughly speaking, there are at least 50 or 60 people. They wore the same gray ninja vests as Azuki Yuyan, but the masks on their faces were more healing than the Anbu masks. Roots. At this moment, Yèyuè Guāng, who is stepping on empty iron sand, will wipe their necks casually, sending these people back to the west is easier than breathing. But he did not rush to do so. Instead, the iron sand was scattered and the root ninjas fell to the ground embarrassingly. Azzy, she and other members of Cloud Shinobi's Cyclops, the one-eyed Sharingan burst into a coquettish and fierce light. Wait, one of the ninjas fell to the ground and just wanted to speak. The ninja sword in Azzy's hand has pierced his mouth and penetrated the back of his head. The Sharingan in their eye sockets seems to be calling the current holder to kill the gang of clutter in front of them. This scene is like Uchiha's undead possessing our Cloud Shinobi ninja, coming to Konoha for revenge. Seeing that Azzy, the new holders of Sharingan, used such violent methods to torture and kill the members of the Roots, Yèyuè Guāng could not help but develop a sense of causality in the reincarnation of heaven. Huh, so cool. After Azzy chopped several root ninjas into meat sauce, he sighed as if he had entered the sage mode. Wait, who did your kid chop just now? Yèyuè Guāng suddenly appeared in the pile of minced meat in front of Azzy. It looks a bit like Sai. Is it called? What is it called? Forget. Brother-in-law, did I kill the wrong person? Azzy made a mistake and was spotted by his parents. Forget it, it's okay, just kill all the people at the root, they're useless anyway. Yèyuè Guāng waved his hand. He also suddenly saw a face that was a bit familiar, so his consciousness made Azzy pause. Don't talk about Sai's brother, and Sai himself. Yèyuè Guāng has no plans to be soft. If you dare to block your way, kill it and Sai. Master Everbright, please let me catch Danzo. At this time, Uchiha Izumi took the initiative to ask Yudao. Advertisement as early as many years ago, she learned the truth about Uchiha's genocide, and before the start of this plan, she had set her sights on Danzo. Although the old immortal is already weak and like a waste, after all, he has Uchiha Shisui's eyes and a lot of tricks. Yèyuè Guāng ordered, just in case, bring some elite of the Cyclops with you. Uchiha Quan nodded silently, picked 10 elites from his subordinates, and went to the root base together. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Uchiha Springs back in shock. Let Uchiha Sasuke catch Utatane Kaharu and Mitokata Homura, and Uchiha Quan is in charge of Shimura Danzo? Wouldn't it mean that the elders who have been in charge of Konoha for nearly half a century are to be taken away in one pot? No, the old man will never allow this to happen. Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly bit the thumb of his right hand and shouted in indignation. Never leave Konoha to you, of summoning, Ms. Sarutobi, don't you put me in your eyes? The opposite Orochimaru smiled evilly, and instantly pulled out the Kusanagi sword from his mouth, intending to give him a knife before Sarutobi Hiruzen used the summoning technique. Rasengan. Feeling the shock from above, Orochimaru took a step back quickly. The Azure Chakra sphere smashed the place where Orochimaru stood just now. And then, taking advantage of this gap, Sarutobi Hiruzen also successfully used the summoning technique, summoning his king, Wang Zhao's brand summoning beast ape demon. Master Jiraiya is here. Seeing Jiraiya's figure, many Konoha shinobi who had been desperate shouted loudly. Finally added a little bit of hope to the extremely low morale. Jiraiya, do you want to take care of this mess? Orochimaru, who avoided Rasengan, glared displeased at his old friend who hadn't seen him for nearly 10 years. If other families are involved in a coup, I really might not care. The landed Jiraiya spoke with a complex expression, causing Sarutobi Hiruzen, who had summoned the Saru demon behind him, to frown. But you, Cloud Shinobi, Otoyuki, Sand Shinobi stirred Konoha so smoky. Jiraiya's eyes swept across Orochimaru, Yèyuè Guāng, and Shuhei one by one, and Justice Lindgren said. I can't just ignore it. Jiraiya and Orochimaru stared at each other. In the next instant, the two bit their fingers in a tacit understanding and pressed them to the ground. Summoning technique, body. Chapter 105 Ninja Wars that are not Ninja Wars, second more seeking subscription. With Jiraiya and Orochimaru using summoning technique together. The two ace summoning beast Wentai and Wanshei appeared at the same time. The moment when the toads and pythons, which are not inferior to the tail beasts, appeared, they crushed the entire martial arts field. Boom. The entire auditorium of the martial arts venue collapsed. Hey, it seems that you are determined to die, Jiraiya. Orochimaru sneered. Jiraiya replied mercilessly. I haven't taught you a lesson before, so let's make up for it today. Fortunately, Yurihong has let those Konoha Xiaoqiang who are not strong enough to leave in advance and catch up with Uchiha Sasuke. And the Uchiha Flame Array was set up in advance because of Uchiha Springs in the rear to protect the Moneybag officials. Otherwise, none of them will want to survive this battle. This is more exaggerated than Ninja World War. The River Country Daimyo swallowed and said. There are so many strong people present, and the forces are intricate and complex. Even if compared to the Shinobi Wars, it is not inferior. It's simply not the ninja wars of the ninja wars. Summoning technique, and facing the attack of Shuhei Runaway. Naruto, who just broke the Nine Tails chakra, is obviously a little weak, and can only take out the summoning technique he has just learned this month. With the bonus of Nine Tails chakra, he didn't lose the chain. Just because Toad Wentai was summoned by Jiraiya first, the 670 he summoned was his brother Toad Jien. Isn't that Sandy Morizuru? Although I am stupid, I will still work hard. Toad Jien holds a shield in one hand and a harpoon as a weapon channel in the other hand. In a blink of an eye, look at the territory of Konoha village. There are 5 behemoths like One-Tail Shuhei, Two-Tail Matabi, Toad Jien, Toad Wentai, and 10,000 snakes. It feels that the scenes of summoning beasts causing Konoha to be summoned by the beast Dao Pain in the future are slightly pediatric. What? The sound of breaking through the air pierced the diffuse smoke, and an extremely fast extending club pierced straight toward the night moonlight. Tsubaki dance. Upon seeing this, Kimimaro pulled out the rib knife and tried to resist the tip of the club. Dong Yi, however, with his strength, it was still too reluctant to resist Cage Level's attack. Due to the huge difference in power, Kimimaro and the bone knives in his hand were all topped. Advertisement, Kimimaro. Bai jumped up, and the volley caught Kimimaro, who was almost flying out. And below, the ever-extending wishful stick still slammed into the night moonlight. Yèyuè Guāng not only didn't mean to dodge or defend, he even added a faint smile on his face. At the last moment when the Rirui rod is less than 1 meter away from the moon of Yèyuè Guāng, another figure flashed between the two. It's Hinata. Shen Luo Tianzheng. Hinata waved a small hand. The wishful stick hit by the shockwave of repulsive force, which seemed to be overwhelming, was almost thrown out. This power is. One of the eyes of the monkey demon grows on the stick of the Rui stick, and when it is about to be knocked off, Hinata notices incredibly that Hinata has once again turned into Tensagen's eyes. 368 Shenluo Tianzheng, who carried out a full range of repulsive impact, instantly dissipated the gunpowder caused by the arrival of Toad Wentai and 10,000 snakes. The situation on the battlefield also seemed extremely clear. Jiraiya. Toad Bunta vs Orochimaru Man Snake Uzumaki Naruto. Toad Ken vs Gaara Shuhei. Cloud Shinobi Sharingan Force vs Jonin Kimimaro, White vs Konoha Anbu. As well as, confronting Yèyuè Guāng, Sarutobi Hiruzen of Hinata. Let's clean up the Sarutobi clan first. At this time, leading his younger brother Hyuga Hisashi and nephew Hyuga Neji, and Hyuga Hishi of the Hyuga tribe who came, stood at the exit of the martial arts field and said, "The Sarutobi clan is cleaned up by our Hyuga, and the Shimura clan does not need to be said? Anyway, you want to do this, not a day or two, just leave it to you." Yèyuè Guāng, Basidi, responded with a chuckle. Hyuga Hishi nodded in agreement, then suddenly thought of another question, and then asked. A lot of Konoha's small ninjas, such as Moonlight, Shiranui and other families, are the only ones who look at the third Hokage. How do these ninjas deal with it? Shiranui Kenma's face changed drastically when he was at war with Azzy. Isn't that your own family? There are flaws, idiots. Azzy sneered, and 3 Tomo Sharingan in his left eye spun wildly, found the flaw, and stabbed through Shiranui Genma's lungs. Cough. Blood in the mouth comes out of Shiranui Genma's throat. Advertisement. Well, there are not a few leaks brainwashed by the will of fire illusion. It depends on the specific situation. If you want to accompany the destruction of the Sarutobi clan, you can fulfill them and sigh. Yèyuè Guāng thought for a moment. Hyuga Hishi nodded his head knowingly, and then led the tribe to advance towards the Sarutobi tribe. A delusion. Sarutobi Hiruzen yelled with tears in his eyes, holding the wishful stick in both hands, swept across the army, and threw it towards the Hyuga clan who wanted to leave. Hyuga Neji was shocked when he saw this. Subconsciously it was like using revolving heaven to resist. Universal pull. But the stick sweep is the best. Hinata waved his hand again. His palm was like a magnet, causing the wishful stick, which was less than 5 meters away from the Hyuga tribe, to be attracted back abruptly. And when the wishful stick flew towards his palm, he was about to hit it. Hinata burst into thunder, and his other hand was shaped like a knife, and he whispered. Hell stab 4 Kanshu. No matter how hard the wishful stick is, the strongest spear can pierce you in half. Ape demon, get back quickly, Sarutobi Hiruzen yelled. As soon as this remark came out, the originally continuously extending wishful stick shortened sharply, making the hell stab emptied. Hell stabs 3 Kanshu. However, what Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't expect was that Hinata put away the little finger of the hand knife at this time, raising the power of hell thrust by 1 level. The small body rushed out like a meteor. Master Naruto, be careful. Azuki Yuyan and Anbu exclaimed. Do you still have time to care about others? The ferocious voice in Bai Wenhei echoed in the ears of the Konoha Anbu players. More ice crystal mirrors with a larger scope than the original work rose up around them, enclosing several Anbu. Standing in the ice mirror, countless white reflections faintly spoke. Secret technique magic mirror ice crystal. On the other side, Hinata, who is like a golden meteor, stabs from hell and concentrates on the body of a sticky stick on the front. It's very hard. Feeling the resistance from the fingertips, Hinata's willow eyebrows frowned slightly, and her ring finger gradually closed. Hell spike. Urban Kano, Chapter 106 Hinata. I will only follow my beloved, third more seeking subscription. Hell Stab Nibbon Kanade. After getting Tensigen, Hinata has risen more than one level in terms of both his perception of chakra and his physical fitness. And successfully developed the Hell Stab to the level of Nibankanshu. Seeing the sparks coming out of Rui sticks, it is obvious that they are about to be cut in half. Puff! In an instant, the wishful stick turned into the smoke disappeared. Obviously, Ape Demon felt the crisis of life and chose to escape back to the summoning world. As for whether it was his own choice, it is not clear. Because once the summoning beast is weakened to a certain extent, it will be forced to be sent back sexually. Wow! The wishful stick disappeared suddenly, causing Hinata's Hell Stab to advance a certain distance again. Lala! Under the rush of blood, Sarutobi Hiruzen sideways made an exaggerated cross-cut blood. Crimson plasma gushes out from the wound like an unturnable faucet. Well, the wrinkled old face showed a distorted pain. But at the moment Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't care about the wound, facing the Hell Stab that he wanted to move forward. Sarutobi Hiruzen's hands are extremely fast to seal, fire style, Fire Dragon Ball. The roaring sea of flames instantly engulfed Hinata and swallowed him. Yoshi. Many Konoha shinobi who fought with the Cloud Shinobi Sharingan troops saw this scene and couldn't help but applaud wildly. With this level of flame, do you think you can crack the lightning-style chakra armor of the same style of Hinata and Third Raikage? She sneered. In the next instant, a violent golden arc came from the center, smashing the sea of fire. And Sarutobi Hiruzen also took advantage of this gap and jumped to the top of the ruins of the martial arts field. Hinata, protected by the lightning-style chakra armor, raised his head and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen above and forward. The Hell Stab in the two-finger state did not become one finger. As far as her body is still in the developing stage, a finger of Hell Thrust is still a bit more difficult. Cough. However, even so, blood still spouted out of Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth uncontrollably. Advertisement. Hey, what did you do, old man? You should have time to avoid that kind of attack, right? Jiraiya, who was at war with Orochimaru above Mancha's head, couldn't help shouting when he saw this scene. I don't want him to fight for so many years, even the machine should be rusty. Orochimaru gave a weird laugh, and his arms suddenly turned into countless pythons. Ninfa hid in shadows and more snake hands. Orochimaru, you guy is as sick as ever. While Jiraiya retreated extremely quickly, a basketball-sized Rasengan was condensed with his right hand. Big Ball Rasengan. After failing to enter the Sage mode, Jiraiya and Orochimaru are definitely in a short time. But right now, it seems that there is no time to let myself enter Sage mode. Snapped. Suddenly, Hinata closed his palms, and the Tensigen in his eyes exploded with more indescribable profound power. It's not like Jinchuriki's Grand Pangbo, but a more unfathomable feeling. In the next second, Hinata's hands turned into palms one after the other, making a starting pose somewhat similar to the Hyuga Gentle Fist method. To be precise, that is the Hamura Gentle Fist method. The ancestor of Hyuga Gentle Fist. Hinata, your real name is Hyuga Guāng. Suddenly, Sarutobi Hiruzen shouted with all his strength. Yèyuè Guāng is not your father at all. Your father is Hyuga Heishi. You should be our Konoha ninja, you know? Sarutobi Hiruzen's sudden and hysterical screams made no matter Konoha, Cloud Shinobi, or Sand Shinobi's ninja, their actions were all stagnant. It's ugly. Yèyuè Guāng sneered with tactics akimbo. But there is no intention to stop Sarutobi Hiruzen from speaking. And Sarutobi Hiruzen's roar also spread to Hyuga family number 2 middle school, who was doing a thorough cleaning of the Sarutobi clan. When they heard these words, all they showed on their faces were, sneer. In order to avoid war, he licked his face and gave, Hyuga Hinata to Cloud Shinobi. Now, in order to linger, he licked his face and wanted, Yèyuè Hinata to fall back. It's really you, Lord Naruto. Faced with Sarutobi Hiruzen's cry, Hinata blinked twice, with big eyes like bright jewels. So what? So you should be Konoha's ninja, Cloud Shinobi should be your enemy. Advertisement. With that said, Sarutobi Hiruzen had a just an awe-inspiring look, and once again raised the volume by 3 points and shouted. -0 seeking flowers. Hinata, face your real enemy, wait until Konoha gets over this storm. You are a veritable 5th Hokage. Master Naruto. These words, let alone Yèyuè Guāng, Hyuga Heishi and others, even Kakashi and others like Sarutobi Hiruzen's own people, they all said they couldn't listen to it anymore. Master Naruto, do you want to be so unscrupulous? Wasn't you the one who took the initiative to give people to Cloud Shinobi? And the Hyuga clan took the initiative to ask for a fight at that time, but you didn't agree. Now the baby of that year turned into a genius and returned strongly. You retorted that the other party should be Konoha. Did you learn this trick from Cloud Shinobi back then? Is that all you want to say? Hinata's voice is still gentle and polite. But as long as it is someone who is familiar with her character, through the increasingly cold eyes, it is enough to judge. At this time, Hinata was extremely annoyed. It doesn't matter to me who the blood belongs to. I just follow my beloved. Perhaps it was the anger that counteracted the shame deep in her heart, and Hinata once again performed the Hamura Gentle Fist approach. She is not the 255 who has been caught in the illusion. The will of fire, after so many years, of course she can see that she is not related to Yèyuè Guāng. In addition, 2 years ago, Yèyuè Guāng had brought himself to Konoha to attend Mrs. Hiashi's condolence. At that time, Hinata vaguely guessed his true life experience. But this is not enough to shake her inner faith at all. Hokage-sama, you really underestimate Hinata. Kakashi couldn't help but shook his head secretly. If Yèyuè Hinata is so easily shaken, how could Yèyuè Guāng cultivate her so hard? But Sarutobi Hiruzen is not to blame, after all, under the influence of his strongest illusion, Will of Fire. Most of his subordinates, like 205, worked hard for him. As a result, Sarutobi Hiruzen became increasingly unable to correct his position. Unconsciously, there is an illusion that everyone will listen to their commands. Although Kakashi is also 205 of the Will of Fire in his body, he is not second to the level that Uchiha Shisui is so mindless. Again. Chapter 107 Special Guest, 4th More Seeking Subscription. Not to mention the Konoha exercise ground as the main battlefield. Other areas of Konoha have long been reduced to a messy battlefield. Oh! The two tails full of blue flames whispered and roared, frightening the surrounding Konoha shinobi, and no one dared to step forward. Especially the ninja who has experienced the disaster of 9 tails for 12 years. The two tails in front of them evoked the most unwilling memories in their minds. Super Expansion Jutsu. Akamichi Dingza fully released Expansion Jutsu, turning himself into a size comparable to Niue. After filling up his guts with a loud roar, Akamichi Dingza rushed towards Niu, his hands clasped tightly on Niu's shoulders. Just want to press the opponent on the ground like this to suppress. Roar, an angry face appeared on Rui's face, and a fiery flame rose between her teeth. A fireball that was dozens of times larger than the Great Fireball actually condensed into shape. Fire-style Hao Yan Ball Technique, 670, In the scream, Akamichi's huge body was knocked out and his fat body shrank sharply in midair and returned to normal. Nympha Cat Claw. Niu's right front paw rose up with a flaming flame, and he wanted to pursue the Akamichi dinosaur who was flying upside down in the air. Stop him! Naruto yelled and started shadow imitation with his people. Rui's expression suddenly changed, and the cat's paw that was raised in the air stopped abruptly. The pupils of the eyes looked down slightly. The shadows at the feet of the Nara people were like a vine whip connected with their own shadows, and they stopped their movements abruptly. Niu let out a low growl, struggling hard to ask for the shackles of shadow imitation. And under the struggle of the second tail, the many ninjas of the Nara clan also showed pain one after another. Even with so many people coming together, it is still too reluctant to restrain such a behemoth as the tail beast. We change our minds technique. Yamanaka, the last person of Ino Shikacho, also led the tribe to rush over and shouted. Boil-style Chow Fog technique, however, it is still not waiting for the Yamanaka clan to start operations. The white mist, which had a high similarity with the mist shinobi technique of the water country, began to permeate this area. Is it mist shinobi's mist shinobi technique? Many Konoha shinobi who had experienced battles with mist shinobi in the Third Ninja World War subconsciously speculated. No, that's not right, this fog is corrosive. Naruto immediately realized that under the white mist, her skin was rapidly festering, and she shouted. Advertisement, everyone, stand back, it is too dangerous to continue to stay in this fog. Even if you give up the restraint on the second tail, you must evacuate. The Ino Shikacho people, who were terrified by the gradual corrosion of their skin, heard Nara Shikaisa's words. He didn't hesitate to lift the ninjutsu, turn around and cast it. Water-style Water Dragon Bite, however, a water dragon that is smaller than the Water Dragon Bomb technique, but has a more terrifying speed and power, roars and flies out. Like a real flood dragon, it will fly everything that stands in front of him. Among them, there are many Akamichi tribesmen who make use of the meat bomb chariots. What kind of water style is this? Someone can actually develop the power of water style to this level. I'm afraid that only Master Second Hokage can compare with it, right? Naruto said in disbelief. After the water dragon bite exploded and dissipated the white mist with severe corrosive power. Everyone at Konoha finally saw the true face of the ninja who used the two tricks just now. It was a woman with natural brow bones and extremely dangerous in her beauty. Are you going to fight? Terumi Mei, standing on top of Rui's head with one hand on hips, asked condescendingly. At the same time, the martial arts field in the central area of Konoha. Outlying areas. Give me wake up, under Naruto's explosive punch. Gaara, who entered the false sleep technique state, was beaten from the top of Shohei's head and flew into the air. And because of the side effects of the false sleep technique, Shuhei also let out an unwilling roar, forcing him to return to Gaara's body. Why, I will lose. Falling to the ground, Gaara muttered to herself in disbelief with blood on her forehead. No, I don't know why, I seem to have seen your past at the moment. The situation is not much better. Naruto is like a caterpillar, crawling towards Gaara, and in the unbelievable gaze of the other party, his tone choked and said. I understand your feelings very well, because I am too. When talking about this, Naruto couldn't help crying. And Gaara also showed an expression he had never shown in the past 12 years of his life. Gaara struggled to say a word, but then she didn't know what to say. Looking directly at Naruto's tearful eyes, he only felt an unprecedented feeling spreading in his heart. Thanks, you too. At this time, a tall woman appeared between Naruto and Gaara, squatting down to support them. At this time, Kankuro and Tamari also rushed over. Seeing that the other party stretched out his hand to Gaara, Tamari immediately shouted with anxiety, "Hey, what are you doing? You guys are grown up." The woman slowly took off the Cloud Shinobi Anbu mask on her face. 0. Advertisement. In an instant, the three sisters and brothers of Fengying were shocked. Tamari opened her mouth in shock and stammered, "Yes, it's Yi Guang, Master Yi Guang. It doesn't matter who the blood comes from, I will only follow my beloved." Hinata once again performed the Hamura gentle fist method, which completely broke Sarutobi Hiruzen's idea of trying to counter Hinata by playing emotional cards. Although, the will of fire is the strongest illusion. But it will take several years of brainwashing since childhood to complete. Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted to use this trick against Hinata at this last moment. It was a horrible move. You are almost finished playing, still thinking about your own will to fire? To some extent, you are really at the top, Mr. Third Hokage. Yèyuè Guāng looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with non-eyes as if watching a clown show, and then turned his head and shouted at Orochimaru, who had yet to win the battle with Jiraiya. "Hey, Orochimaru, please invite special guests." Orochimaru couldn't help smiling when he heard the words. "Jump quickly back a few steps and get away from Jiraiya." As Orochimaru crossed his hands, his thumbs on both sides went into the mouth and bit his fingertips with his teeth. Press the palm down again. Summoning technique, reincarnation of the filthy man. 2 coffins rose from the ground. Write the numbers. And 2, respectively. What do they want to do again? Konoha, who was gradually overwhelmed in the face of the expert Cloud Shinobi, gritted his teeth secretly. The last one was more troublesome, but luckily it succeeded. Immediately, Orochimaru changed the seal. Has Highway MAO 2.3 Inu Wu have? Sarutobi Hiruzen's face changed drastically. Then, what is that seal? The ghouls are all sealed. As Shinigami descended from behind Orochimaru, Orochimaru manipulated Shinigami to open his abdomen. A strand of soul flew out of Shinigami's belly, like Kun. Orochimaru yelled quickly. Yèyuè Guāng shook his hand and was defeated by Yi Guang. Yamato, the owner of Hashirama Cell, shook his hand and threw it away. This guy was also one of Sarutobi Hiruzen's guards, and was defeated by the holder of Sharingan's Shi. Comparable to White Zetsu, it is most suitable for the existence of living corpse reincarnation. With Shinigami alone, the last ray of soul flew out. Seeing that Orochimaru, who was dying, turned into his body at the last moment of his life, White Snake Sage rushed into Yamato's mouth. Use the opponent's body to complete rebirth. At the same time, the coffin board engraved with 4 also broke out. Orochimaru also smiled again and again. Well, the special guests are here. Chapter 108 Universal Reason, 5th More Seeking Subscription. The underground of the Shimura clan is the base of the root department. An empty and huge base. At this moment, blood is already flowing. Uchiha Izumi's exquisite and lovely body is full of the blood of the root ninja. His mother, Uchiha Hazuki, was killed by Uchiha Itachi. But Uchiha Kwan understands better the death of his mother and the destruction of the whole family. The roots, and even the entire Konoha high level, are even more full of unshirkable responsibilities. Captain Spring, 2 people have been lost. At this time, a Jonin from the Cloud Shinobi Sharingan unit reported to Uchiha Kwanwi. Recycle their Sharingan. After a short silence, Uchiha Kwan gave a somewhat cold response. Perhaps, this is the only proof that the Uchiha clan stayed in this world. However, there are too many ninjas at the root. The Sharingan troops led by Uchiha Kwan still had only 10 men. Originally Uchiha Izumi thought that Konoha had fought so hard. Even if Shimura Danzo does not go to war, he must send a considerable part of his subordinates to assist Sarutobi Hiruzen. But he never thought of how this old fox could hold his breath. Faced with this situation, there are still hundreds of people left behind to stay in their nests. Face hundreds of root ninjas standing in front of you. The cross-dart-shaped Mangekyo in Uchiha Izumi's eyes spins sharply. Do you want me to invite you out, 10 Danzo? The pupils in the eye sockets hidden in the rear building suddenly shrank. Susanoo, a silver-white transparent second form, roared out. The sword fell, and directly sent a dozen root players in front of him to the west. Get out! In front of Yèyuè Guāng, Yi Guang and others, there has always been an Uchiha spring of obedient women. The contrast was so big that the members of the Cloud Shinobi Village Sharingan team couldn't help but shudder. At this moment, Susanoo, the second silver-white form of violence, hit the building where Danzo was hiding with a punch. Because when she saw these root ninjas, just remember 5 years ago, that nightmare night that was unforgettable and lingering for myself. I said, get out of me quickly. Silver Susanoo's right hand slashed with a knife in the middle of the building. The whole building was divided into 2 abruptly. And Danzo, who was hiding in it, had to be forced to show up from it. No more hiding, right? Controlling the second form of Susanoo's Uchiha Izumi with blood and tears in his eyes, like a female ghost, staring at Danzo as he appeared. Advertisement. The remnants of Uchiha's remnant party, besides the 2 brothers, are actually still there. Danzo's expression was sulky, and when he saw the Cloud Shinobi equipped with a single-eyed Sharingan behind Uchiha Spring, he almost vomited blood, gritted his teeth and said, "You damn thieves! It was you who stole the old man's Sharingan back then." For Danzo, the night when he carried the black pot and didn't get any benefits 5 years ago, it was a lingering pain in his life. You are the thief? Uchiha Izumi's eyes split and yelled. She really didn't expect Shimura Danzo to be so shameless. Wasn't the genocide incident that year triggered by the power of your old fox-coveted ship Uchiha? The old man did this for Konoha and this ninja world. Danzo said awe-inspiringly. The anger that just soars into the sky makes Uchiha Quan almost irrational. The second form Susanoo is about to evolve into the third form of the armor version in the original Uchiha Itachi. And to evolve into this form, it means that her vision will be destroyed. Therefore, Yèyuè Guāng usually prohibits her from using Mangekyo Sharingan. After all, this girl has no brothers or sisters to change eyes. That's why she was allowed to refine Flying Thunder God. Don't reason with the Konoha elders, they have a universal reason for Konoha. At the critical moment when the flames of anger rose to the limit, what Yèyuè Guāng said to her before the action began appeared in Uchiha Quan's mind. In an instant, Uchiha Spring calmed down, put away Susanoo and Mangekyo, and returned to the three-goad jade. Instead, he took out Flying Thunder God Kunai and sneered. I don't want to talk nonsense with you, the next step is to tell the battle with my eyes. Tobarama's Flying Thunder God. Danzo's face changed in shock again. As a disciple of Senju Tobarama, he deeply understands the power of Flying Thunder God. Captain Spring, several Sharingan Cloud Shinobi around slowly opened their mouths. However, as soon as he was about to speak, he was interrupted by Uchiha Quan. None of you are allowed to shoot, you have to make a break by yourself. The sassy Uchiha Spring shows a completely different sense of oppression in the temperament of the day. When the voice fell, he threw out a Flying Thunder God Kunai in his hand. At this time, Danzo didn't care about hiding. A right eye that had hidden himself in the bandage for more than 10 years was revealed. The eyes of Uchiha Shisui caused the opponent's Cloud Shinobi Sharingan troops to start in an uproar again. Co-author Danzo is also transplanted to Sharingan. Then as you said, tell the battle with your eyes. Danzo made a seal with one hand, and simultaneously analyzed and thought in his heart. Tobarama teacher's Flying Thunder God performs a flash and stab attack at the moment when Kuna approaches the enemy, and must avoid Kuna's attack orbit, or... Advertisement Shimura Danzo made the seal very quickly, his cheeks swelled and spit out wind pressure, wind-style vacuum wave. Obviously, Danzo understands how to deal with Flying Thunder God. Never let Flying Thunder God Kuma close to your body. Evasion or using long-range ninjutsu to fly it is a good way. Huh, Uchiha Quan suddenly let out a cold snort. Several black shadows rushed out from below the kunai that was blown by the wind. Like a boomerang, it made a big bend close to 90 and continued to fly towards Shimura Danzo in the left and right directions. Kuni is hidden under the karma? This is Uchiha's Shadow Shuriken technique? Shimura Danzo's face was crossed and sneered, but in front of the old man's eyes, it's still too tender. The power of Uchiha Shisui Sharingan is not just distinguished heavenly gods. Wind-style vacuum continuous waves, 360's raging wind blows the Flying Thunder God Kuma on both sides together. It's boring 670, but it's okay, leave your Sharingan. Just as Shimura Danzo sneered and changed Jian, preparing to officially switch from defensive to offensive. Puffy. Suddenly, the two Flying Thunder God Kunai that had been blown away by the vacuum did not conform to the principle of gravity. With gravity like a meteor, he fell straight and removed Shimura Danzo's right arm completely. For an instant, blood went wild, but Shimura Danzo's first reaction was not shock. It's incredible. What's going on? It's you who is boring. At this time, Danzo discovered that the left eye of Uchiha Izumi on the opposite side had once again changed to the Mangekyo shape of the cross-dart pupil. Even in Cloud Shinobi Village, only Everbright people know this, my Mangekyo's ability. Uchiha Quan flashed to Danzo's side with Flying Thunder God, cutting off his arm without checking. It's just a pirated Mangekyo user who owns someone else's Mangekyo, but so despise the battle with the real Mangekyo holder, the arrogance of your elders is almost in your bones. Don't kill me. With a violent expression of horror, Danzo's facial features were full of hideousness, for the wood. What? Uchiha Spring made a crosscut, accurately cutting Danzo's horns on both sides. Brought him a scar of the same style as a clown. If you dare to say, for Konoha, I will chop off your tongue. Uchiha Quan said coldly. Chapter 109 Reincarnation, The Cycle of Cause and Effect, 6th More Seeking Subscription. Konoha Administration Building. Uchiha Sasuke arrived here at Uchiha Quan's orders, almost without hindrance along the way. Because of the relationship between Cloud Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, and Otoyuki's tripartite ninjas invading Konoha. All Konoha's combat power are busy dealing with these three forces. There are no more people to guard this place, but even so, anyhow, he is the elder who has been in charge of Konoha for nearly half a century. Not to mention Konoha's invasion, even if the sky falls, this group of people will be protected by their diehards. When Uchiha Sasuke came all the way to the door of the elder's room. Just about to open the door. Sasuke-kun. At this time, Haruno Sakura has also arrived, and behind her, there are Rock Lee, Yamanaka Ino, Nara Shikamaru and other Xiaoqiang. What are you doing here? Uchiha Sasuke turned his head and frowned. Should we ask you this sentence? Naraluju frowned and walked out, calmly asking. Although that woman is also a member of the Uchiha clan, you see that she is wearing Cloud Shinobi's forehead protector, right? Do you want to obey her orders and attack the elders of Konoha's highest authority? Do you know what punishment you will face in that way? Uchiha Sasuke twisted his eyebrows slightly, but after hesitating for a second, he stopped hesitating and said coldly. My choice does not require your intervention, don't get in the way. Bang. The moment the voice fell, Uchiha Sasuke smashed the gate with 1,000 birds. At this moment, more than a dozen Anbu team members appeared and surrounded Uchiha Sasuke from inside and outside the house. What do you want to do? Uchiha Sasuke, an Anbu player in the lead, asked lowly. Uchiha Sasuke did not take care of others, and fixed his gaze on Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura, who were protected by Anbu. Is that you? Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura. The second pillar pretend escape was launched again, regardless of how many strengths around him were not inferior to him, and even Anbu, who was above himself, said with arrogance. Come with me. Pay attention to your tone, Uchiha Sasuke. Utatane Kaharu, who had been troubled by the sinister situation in front of Konoha, was distraught after hearing Uchiha Sasuke's disrespectful tone. It was involuntarily angry. She has always been the only one who is arrogant to others. When will it be her turn to treat herself like this? Not to mention, this is such an annoying Uchiha kid. Advertisement had it not been for Uchiha Itachi's threat, they would have thought of a way to get rid of this kid. I said, follow me. Uchiha Sasuke's eyes twisted sharply, and thunder broke out again in his left hand. On the night Uchiha annihilated the clan, there seemed to be another truth. In order to know the truth, he is willing to pay any price. Bold. A dozen Anbu inside and outside the office saw that Uchiha Sasuke dared to use ninjutsu and immediately rushed to him. Sasuke-kun. Seeing Uchiha Sasuke surrounded by groups, Haruno Sakura, who was the #1 female dog licking, immediately yelled in horror. Don't get in the way of me. Uchiha Sasuke, who broke out with the left-handed Chidori, doesn't care what he does and what consequences it will bring to him. All he wants now is to take down the two old immortals at the back and know the truth about that night from Uchiha Spring. However, anger only makes people weaker, unless you can explode 9 tails like Naruto. The current 2 pillars, although they have the same strength as Chunin. But the lowest level of Anbu present is also Special Jonin. Although taking advantage of Sharingan's pedigree, he injured a few Anbu. But Uchiha Sasuke was still quickly pushed to the ground easily by other Anbu. Mitokado Homura asked puzzledly. Why did this Itachi leave the remnants of it, so why did you shoot us at this time? Regardless of the reason, he dared to do this, and we don't have to worry about the threat of Itachi. Utatane Kaharu's face sullenly ordered, kill him, immediately. Uchiha Sasuke is a time bomb for their elders, the reason why he has not been executed for a long time. It was because before Uchiha Itachi rebelled against the village, he left the phrase, if something goes wrong with Sasuke, I will inform the enemy village of Konoha's information. However, Konoha is now facing a catastrophe, and Uchiha Sasuke, the remnant, also wanted to do it to himself. Of course the elders would not allow him to continue to live. Uchiha Sasuke, who was pressed to the ground and clasped his neck, heard the words of the 2 old foxes, and his expression suddenly changed. What do the remnants of Itachi mean? What is the threat of Itachi? Combined with the words of Uchiha Spring, it is obvious that on the night 5 years ago, there was a lot of darkness that I didn't know. What happened that night? Uchiha Sasuke reluctantly raised his head, his eyes full of bloodshot, and roared. Advertisement, you don't need to know, you should have died 5 years ago. Utatane Kaharu waved his hand again indifferently, what are you still doing in a daze? Do it. The Anbu team member, the strongest illusion art in the deep, fire will, immediately drew a shinobi sword and cut it at Uchiha Sasuke's neck. Sasuke-kun, Haruno Sakura screamed again. Well, she can only scream. The other Shaoqiangs were also shocked, but due to the deterrence of Konoha's highest authority, they did not dare to step forward to rescue them. Not to mention that apart from Haruno Sakura, the relationship between everyone and Uchiha Sasuke is really average. Boom, it was the last moment when Anbu's shinobi was less than half a centimeter away from the back of Uchiha Sasuke's neck. The wall of the elder's room was severely shattered. Everyone turned around subconsciously. A looming silver-white giant skeleton arm appeared on the body, and the Uchiha Spring, which had broken the wall, stepped into the room. Sister Quan. Uchiha Sasuke exclaimed in surprise and joy. Sorry, Sasuke, I didn't expect this to happen, there are so many Anbus here. Uchiha Quan throws flying Thunder God Kunai. The afterimage suddenly appeared, and in the blink of an eye, the 2 Anbus holding Uchiha Sasuke's throat and the 2 Anbus holding his limbs were killed instantly. Ms. Tobarama's flying Thunder God, turning to bed Shao, Wang Jiaohao, Chun and Mitokado Homura were suddenly stunned. However, the more terrifying is yet to come outside the cave. The members of Cloud Shinobi Sharingan's troops walked into it one by one. In just a few rounds, the Anbu team members in the house were killed. One of Uchiha Izumi's men was dragging Shimura Danzo's collar and pulling him all the way in. At the pinnacle of power, Konoha's root leader, who is under the tens of thousands of people, is like an animal to be slaughtered, embarrassed and ugly. Utatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura turned pale. Tuan, Danzo, what are you? Well, this girl is also Uchiha. How come Uchiha should have been 5 years ago? Should all be dead, right? Uchiha Kwanyu smiled, his eyes revealed a strong killing intent. Should I take the initiative to walk with me, or should I bring you closer? The flying thunder god kunai fiddling within his hand reflected a deadly fierce light. Chapter 110. Thank you for cultivating such an excellent disciple. 7th more seeking subscription. The moment when Orochimaru used his body as a sacrifice and cut off Shinigami's abdomen. Immediately use living corpse reincarnation to transfer his soul to Yamato's body. Because there is also a considerable Hashirama cell relationship. Therefore, the fusion is surprisingly good, but the disadvantage is that it will take at least 3 years before the next rebirth can take place. And as the third coffin with 4 written on it slowly rises. Naruto also defeated Gaara, but the two who had lost the ability to fight were rescued by Yekura, Temari, and Kankuro to begin treatment. At the same time, Wooden Golem and Terumi Mei also stopped the commotion. Obviously, the battles in the outer regions are gradually winning out. Ta Rihong was surprised. Then, those coffins are, what are they? Kakashi. I have a strong sense of uncertainty. These younger ninjas have never seen this trick. However, when Jiraiya was a child, he saw second Hokage Senju Tobirama use this trick. Not to mention Sarutobi Day as a disciple. Orochimaru, you blasphemed the dead. It's not a humorous thing to play with the soul. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was vaguely aware of something, roared with a more flustered expression than ever before. Don't be so excited, teacher. Orochimaru, who just played living corpse reincarnation, is still holding Yamato's face at the moment. But in the short 10 seconds of speaking, the facial features of 673 on his face changed rapidly. It quickly changed back to Orochimaru's true face. Taste, with words, the 3-game coffin door opened automatically, and the 3 pairs seemed to be made of clay. The cracked arms came out of it and pushed the coffin cover open. What's wrong? Next, what's going to happen again? Chakra was exhausted, and Naruto lying on the ground could only turn his head and look in the direction of the incident. Immediately, he saw a man with the same hair color and hedgehog head coming out of the coffin with the word, 4, written on it. Old teacher. Kakashi only felt as if there was a big rock blocking his throat, and it took a long time to barely utter 2 words. That is indeed Minato-senpai, and that is Naruto's. Ta Rihong, Might Guy and other people who knew Naruto's true identity all turned around the two with complicated eyes. Sorry, Everbright, it took a little time. At this time, Uchiha Kwan also led the Sharingan troops, clutching 3 old foxes and hurried back. And behind, followed by a group of small players headed by Uchiha Sasuke. Did you use Mangekyo? Advertisement. Yèyuè Guāng frowned slightly, noticing the traces of blood and tears extending from the corner of Uchiha Spring's eyes. Yes, Basidi, I'm sorry, but I am not calm enough. Uchiha Izumi scratched the back of his head apologetically. Although before the action, she didn't know how many times she was awakened in her heart that she must not be impulsive. But when the enemy really stands in front of you, emotions are really not something you can control if you want to. Forget it, you go with a pair of glasses when you are over. Yèyuè Guāng shook his head helplessly. He didn't plan to transplant Hashirama cells into Uchiha Spring. If this cute girl grows a Hashirama face spray. Teacher. Namikaze Minato, who was the first to regain self-consciousness, followed Kakashi's voice and turned his head to look. Noting the other party's iconic white hair and face mask, he suddenly shouted with surprise on his face. Oh, it's Kakashi. You've grown up like this. How about Naruto? It should have grown too big, right? Namikaze Minato seemed to be a little natural, yet he hadn't noticed the murderous intent of the scene, and turned his head and looked around curiously. Trying to find his son. You are 4th Hokage, why do you know my name? Naruto, who was a few hundred meters away, wanted to stand up, but she had no strength, so she could only raise her neck and exhausted her last bit of strength to shout to the opposite Namikaze Minato. The father and son looked at each other in the air and were stunned for a while. That kid is 4th Hokage? He was also out of Impure World reincarnation? Senju Hashirama, who also regained consciousness, noticed the words, 4 Hokage, on Namikaze Minato's robe, blinking his eyes and said. Then 5th Hokage is in power now? Is 3rd Hokage a monkey? He is also dead? Since it was released by Impure World reincarnation, it was dead. Given this reasoning, 5th Hokage should be in charge. In that case, that means 3rd Hokage is also dead? 5th Hokage is here. At this time, Yèyuè Guāng pulled Hinata and smiled at Senju Hashirama. As for the monkey in your mouth, it's not dead yet. 4th Hokage died earlier than him. Huh? 5th Hokage is so young. Look at your eyes, it's the Hyuga family. Not bad, not bad. Noting Hinata's white pearl-like eyes, Senju Hashirama said naturally and cheerfully. Although it feels too young, but I can feel the unfathomable chakra from the opponent's body, and the temperament is very pure. Shouldn't it be good to be Hokage? Advertisement, brother, what's your nerve? Didn't you notice that the kid forehead protector is Cloud Shinobi? Compared to Senju Hashirama, who has a bigger personality, Senju Tobirama is obviously much smarter. The sharp eyes quickly swept around. In just a few seconds, analyzed the general situation that appeared. It can be determined that their resurrection place is Konoha. But there seemed to be a serious war, and the whole village was in a mess. And now the ninja wears Cloud Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, and a ninja with a note symbol that he doesn't recognize. In other words, at least 3 Shinobu villages joined forces to attack Konoha? The situation is in crisis. Senju Tobirama stared slightly and secretly analyzed. Could it be that the senior Konoha saw the situation crisis, so he summoned my eldest brother and wanted to assist in the fight? Suddenly, Senju Tobirama noticed Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was completely stunned, and 3 old women who wanted a dead dog to be caught by a group of Cloud Shinobi ninjas with Sharingan. Although his face was old and wrinkled, Senju Tobirama looked around for a few seconds, and still recognized these people, and asked in a doubtful tone. Yes, monkey, Danzo, Kaharu and Homura? Old, teacher, help. Udadane Kaharu screamed. The 70-year-old woman asked for help from Senju Tobirama, who was in her 40s. Me, I'm confused. What's the matter? Senju Hashirama turned his head in confusion and looked away. Suddenly he was resurrected, and the information pouring into him was too much, which exceeded the power of his brain. Monkey, what is going on? Even with Senju Tobirama's IQ, it is difficult to predict the current situation, so I had to ask the only disciple who was not caught. Isn't this the Master Second Hokage I admire the most? I want to thank you. Before Sarutobi Hiruzen could answer, Yèyuè Guāng smiled and said, Thank you for teaching such good 4 disciples. Cloud Shinobi boy, what do you mean? Senju Tobirama embraced Yu Hung with his hands in front of him, and said with an unhappy expression. He didn't think this kid really admired himself. No, don't get me wrong, my thanks are from the heart. Yèyuè Guāng smiled even more. If it weren't for you to teach such a good disciple and defeat the family property you two left behind, how could I take Konoha so easily? Chapter 111 Konoha Bitter Elder Group has been around for a long time, first more seeking subscription. Puff ha ha ha. After hearing Yèyuè Guāng's words, Aze, the brother-in-law, was the first to hold back and grinned loudly. Nozomi, and the 2 members of Wooden Golem, Terumi Mei and many Cloud Shinobi Sharingan troops who have just rushed over from the battle. Both of them couldn't help covering their mouths and laughing. Don't say Senju Tobirama, even Senju Hashirama, who was very nervous, realized that the situation seems to be far more than just Cloud Shinobi's attack on Konoha with the multinational Shinobi village. However, Uchiha Spring and Hyuga Heishi are now on Yèyuè Guāng's side. But the ninja, who was also a member of Konoha before, couldn't laugh. If it weren't for the frenzied behavior of the elders, why would they ever want to do such a thing? Sarutobi Hiruzen almost didn't mention it. He understood why Yèyuè Guāng asked Orochimaru to match his teacher's first-generation project and second-generation project, and even did not hesitate to waste so much effort. Even 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, whose soul was sealed in Shinigami's belly, was called out. This is in front of Konoha, and even half of the Shinobi world, to question the guilt of the 4-member group of their elders and perform public punishment. Even the half-dead Danzo, who was beaten by Uchiha Spring, finally showed a look even more terrifying than facing death at this moment. Although he has always advertised that what he did was for Konoha and for the ninja world. However, as long as Danzo's mind is still a little bit normal, he knows what jerk he has been doing for so many years. He dared to use the words, for Konoha, as a high-sounding reason in the face of everyone. But only in front of these 3 people, don't have the guts. Don't point at me, Master Naruto. Oh, sorry, I forgot that you won't be able to know Hokage anymore. Yèyuè Guāng waved his hand. Don't get me wrong, I actually don't bother to engage in the practice of inquiring about the teacher. My subordinates begged me to do so. After the voice fell, Uchiha Quan took the lead and said in a loud voice. Yes, I want to let the truth of the Uchiha clan annihilation be made known to the world, in front of the 3 former Hokage-sama. The truth about Uchiha genocide. Not only Uchiha Sasuke, but many Konoha shinobi players present, even the Shoukangs, looked moved. That night 5 years ago, there were too many heresy. Advertisement as a result, when they recalled today, they all felt something was wrong. Sure enough, what happened that night? Nara Shikamaru, who was in charge of the 12 small brains, muttered to herself in a low voice. He always felt that this matter was very familiar. But whenever this matter was mentioned, his father always scolded himself with a stern look on his face, don't think too much. Mother even copied the feather duster directly on her skin. As a result, he never dared to mention it again. My Hyuga clan has never betrayed Konoha, and everything we do today is to save Konoha. Hyuga Heishi immediately shouted, the Konoha elders have been around for a long time, only by overthrowing their rule can Konoha avoid the end of destruction. You guys, talk about it. I heard the representatives of the Uchiha and Hyuga families blatantly criticize themselves in front of the 2 Naruto martyrs. Udadane Kaharu, who has always advertised that everything he did is for Konoha, roared with a change of expression. Framed. This is framed. Master Hashirama, Teacher Tobirama, Uchiha and Hyuga collude with foreign enemies. Join Cloud Shinobi Village to attack Konoha. Please be the master for the disciples. That's right, teacher. It was you who sacrificed your life and let us return to the village. For so many years, we have been dedicated to Konoha and spreading the will to fire. These people are completely repaying virtue for power. Mitokado Homura also cried and shouted. Right now, the Hyuga family has turned and killed Sarutobi and Shimura. Kakashi, Might Guy and other elites have completely lost their fighting spirit. Ino Shikacho, Inus and other ninjas have obviously been defeated. If their elders wanted to come back, only the Senju brothers who relied on these 2 combat powers for the ninja Tenten Waban. Senju Tobirama had his eyes half empty, as he was once the #1 speed in the ninja world and the #1 statesman in the ninja world. Observing now, the problem has already been seen. Although the situation of the battle was obviously controlled by the Cloud Shinobi kid named Yèyuè Guāng. But there are still a large number of Konoha shinobi who have not fallen. However, all of them looked depressed, and there was absolutely no intention to fight. Point 0 Seeking flowers. There is no meaning to rescue Danzo, Koharu, and Homura. Could it be that what the little Uchiha girl and Hyuga man said is true? Advertisement. Thinking of this, Senju Tobirama secretly clenched his fist. If that is the case, then I appointed them to inherit their choice back then, after all. Where is Xiaobing? Senju Hashirama spoke abruptly, then turned to look at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Monkey, you are all this age, so Xiaosun should not be younger. Where is she? And Genma and Redo? Senju Hashirama's series of death questions made Utatane Koharu and Midokado Homura speechless, who were still crying. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo were even more scared and sweaty. Senju Hashirama's small tsunami naturally refers to his eldest granddaughter, Tsunade. Genma and Redo refer to his son and daughter-in-law, Senju Genma and Senju Redo. That is, Tsunade's parents. Big brother, if you ask, I also found out. Senju Tobirama's eyes were half empty, and he quickly swept over the Konoha shinobi who was present. Uchiha, I at least found that little girl and a little devil, but why didn't I see any of the Senju family members? At this moment, no one in the four-member group of the elders dared to respond to their teacher's questions. Even the highest combat power of the Konoha camp is Jiraiya. All silently took the toad back to Mount Myoboku and stood still and whispered to himself. Eat the consequences, old man boom. However, at this moment, it was outside the martial arts field. The sound of boxing broke the silent atmosphere of the scene. Follow the sound of punches. I saw Naruto howling and crying while hitting Namikaze Minato's abdomen with his fist. Why should 9 tails be sealed in my body, Dad? I heard Naruto's name for Namikaze Minato, and then I saw the robes of the goddess of unloading with the words, Fourth Hokage, written on the back of Namikaze Minato. Ebisu Prize winner Naruto was stunned by the Konoha shinobi who regarded as a demon fox. Gang, demon just now, no, what is Uzumaki Naruto's name, Lord Fourth Hokage? Dad, again. Chapter 112 The Konoha Elders are the heroes of Cloud Shinobi, second more seeking subscription. Just now, Demon Fox, no, what is Uzumaki Naruto's name as Lord Fourth Generation? Dad, no, it's impossible, how is this possible? No, it seems that it is not impossible. At that time, Master Fourth Generation's wife seemed to be pregnant, and the time seems to be about the same. Senju Hashirama's, Genma, and Redo, these people are too old for most Konoha shinobi. Naraluku, Yamanaka Ino's generation of Xiaoqiang may not even know what the Senju family represents. However, Fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato is for most Konoha people. It's no stranger, after all, he was full of calculations, he had only been dead for 12 years, and he still sacrificed for the heroic 673, who saved Konoha. But now, Naruto, who is called a demon fox by most people in Konoha village, actually calls him Dad. This made many people who called Naruto's 12th demon fox shocked. Even Haruno Sakura, a classmate and even Genin's teammate, grew up in shock. Although she would not call Naruto a demon fox, but because the other party has no father and no mother. I still look down on each other a little bit in my heart. However, it is now revealed that Naruto's father is the 4th generation, the hero who saved the village. It left their brains blank, and they didn't know how to react at all. And people like Yurihong, Might Guy, Naraluju, etc., who vaguely guessed Naruto's true identity, but did not dare to stand up for him, Konoha shinobi. A hot and dare look called shame appeared on his face. Kushina, who was pregnant, had an expected delivery date, even if it was about the same as the date when Sarutobi Hiruzen brought Naruto back. Coupled with the surname, they all vaguely guessed Naruto's life experience. But they were all jealous of the orders of the elders, and watched as the son of a hero, Naruto, experienced a miserable childhood. They really dare not, because against the elders, there are too many lessons learned from the terrible end. Mingming Wu, Naruto cried out in tears, advertisement. As the impure world reincarnation form of Namikaze Minato, naturally there is no pain. But seeing his son tears like rain, the inner colic is more than 100 times better than the physical pain. There was no chance during his lifetime, and he was able to meet after death. Namikaze Minato put his right hand on top of Naruto's head to comfort him. After Naruto's crying ceased, he turned his head to Yèyuè Guāng and Sarutobi Hiruzen opposite Hinata, as well as the elders group captured by the Cloud Shinobi Sharingan troops, and frowned and said, Master 3rd Generation, as well as the 3 adults of the elders, I would like to ask what happened during the time I died. Thanks to Namikaze Minato's kindness, even a little weak. At this time, the honorific title is still used, changed to anyone who is slightly temperamental. I also want to ask, what happened during the time we died? Senju Tobirama, regarded as the most important backer by the elders group of 4, did not have the intention to deal with Cloud Shinobi at this time. Instead, he put his hands in front of Yu Shang and locked his sharp eyes on his 4 successors. Well, what is going on in this atmosphere? It feels like everyone is targeting Master 3rd Hokage. Yamanaka Ino secretly hid behind his father Yamanaka Hai, trying to find a trace of comfort. The rumors framed White Fang. Senju existed in name only, the Uchiha clan was wiped out, and the son of the hero was regarded as a demon fox. Uchiha Spring came out, with a pretty face, full of indifferent colors, Fangdong lightly said, telling the crimes of the elders, and said coldly. Don't worry, don't rush to kill you, speak slowly. But this was only a crime she knew. Using the human body to study first-generation cells, forcing Akatsuki's leader Nagato to blacken, and killing Konoha's #1 spy. Yakushi no. Uchiha Izumi doesn't know yet. What the old man does is to uphold the will of fire, all for Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen answered the wrong question, not so much as resisting, but as escaping from reality in incompetent rage. At the moment when the voice fell, Sarutobi Hiruzen moved his right hand to his left wrist, smoke rose up, took a giant shuriken from the summoning library, and threw it towards Uchiha Spring. Sister Quan. Uchiha Sasuke shouted worriedly. Advertisement clang. There was a crisp sound of weapon collision. With a burst of sparks shining, no one thought that it was Senju Tobirama who threw a small dart and knocked out the giant shuriken of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Old, teacher. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Senju Tobirama as if he had seen a ghost. He didn't understand why Uchiha's teacher who hated Uchiha the most would save Uchiha Spring. I didn't want to save her, I just want to know what happened after I died. Senju Tobirama has sharp eyes and has an instinctive deterrent to the Sarutobi Hiruzen quartet. Don't answer the unreasonable question, monkey, speak clearly in front of my eldest brother and me. Senior Tobirama, don't be so angry, I'm different from you. I really like the 4 members of the Konoha elders. Yèyuè Guāng smiled and put his right hand on Hinata's small head, and said cheerfully. If it weren't for their genius for destroying Konoha so tirelessly, how could I have won so easily? My brother-in-law Azzie immediately catered, brother-in-law is right, the 4 adults of the Konoha elders are really the heroes of our Cloud Shinobi. Shi yelled. Yes, after Cloud Shinobi takes Konoha, the names of the 4 elders who have worked hard for me 2.3 Cloud Shinobi will be engraved on the memorial monument of Cloud Shinobi for future generations to admire. Even the 2 decent characters from Wooden Golem said. This Konoha capture plan, the undisputed first work is the 4 elders. Yeah, third Hokage deserves to be, the strongest Naruto. Danzo-sama is also a hero of Cloud Shinobi. Counselor Kaharu, Counselor Homura. Thank you for killing so many Konoha talents. The Cloud Shinobi ninjas also started to become irritated one by one, laughing like a war god with a crooked mouth. The more these Cloud Shinobi people said, the faces of the elders and even the other Konoha people became darker. Yes, in some ways, the Konoha elders are really the heroes of Cloud Shinobi. Chapter 113 Naruto, Go and Kill Him, third more seeking subscription. If it is only the victims of Konoha's high-level officials such as Uchiha Izumi, Hyuga Heishi, and so on. So Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, they all choose to use the ghoul to seal it up, and the sealing techniques of the 4 elephants come to an end. Never want to divulge their dark history. Even if they die, they will die as Konoha heroes like Namikaze Minato. However, in the presence of 2 brothers Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama, the situation is completely different. The Senju brothers, especially Senju Tobirama, are for their 4 mice. There is a natural repressive force like a mouse meets a cat. Facing his teacher, he seemed to tear their foreheads apart to see what secrets hidden inside. No matter how scheming Sarutobi Hiruzen is, Shimura Danzo no matter how cunning. They dare not regenerate their rebellious heart. To be honest, at least in the first 2 decades of Sarutobi Hiruzen's administration, Konoha's status as the strongest in the ninja world is still unmoved. Although most of the reasons for this are that the foundation left by Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama is too good. Not how shrewd he is Sarutobi Hiruzen. During this period, Konoha was also 10 geniuses. Hitaki Sakumo, Konoha Sanin, and Sarutobi Nissen and Shimura Danzo who are in the prime ninja age group. Konoha is undoubtedly the strongest village in the ninja world. However, when the Second Ninja World War developed to the end, Sarutobi Hiruzen was over half 100 years old, and gradually rushed to the point where his body and strength were not as good as before. At that time, he was only in his early 30s and had already demonstrated his surpassing Konoha's white fangtooth, when Hitaki Shumao turned out to be born. After Konoha, and even the entire Fire Country, rumors circulated that third Hokage is time to retire, and White Fang will take over the position of 4th generation. It took 20 years, and the leather stock had just settled in this position, but had to give in? This is obviously unacceptable for Sarutobi Hiruzen. His mentality changed without even noticing it. At that time, the relationship with Sarutobi Hiruzen was still an unquestionable bestie. Shimura Danzo, who was under 1 person and above 10,000, also noticed the thoughts of his friends. He also didn't want to lose his power, so he took advantage of the failure of the White Fang mission and pushed the boat along the way. Advertisement. Everyone in Konoha knew about the future. And White Fang's death seemed to be just the first piece of the domino that collapsed. After that, the Senju clan was ambushed by the enemy in the Second Ninja World War, almost completely killed. Coupled with the tragic death of Senju Hashirama's eldest grandson Nawaki, the eldest granddaughter Tsunade suffers from panacemia. Senju exists in name only. Immediately afterwards, without Senju's blessing, the Uzumaki clan could not escape bad luck and fell into annihilation. Then Fourth Hokage suppressed the disaster of 9 tails and died, and the son of the hero was treated as a monster. The longest daughter of the Hyuga clan was given to Cloud Shinobi. Uchiha Shisui's eyes were taken, Uchiha Itachi was instigated, and the entire Uchiha clan was destroyed. One tragedy one after another, one pillar after another that once supported Konoha, collapsed like pieces of dominoes one after another. At the end of the collapse, only the aging Kuchiki, the elders, was left to support it. Until today, it seems that there is only one Konoha that Kuchiki can withstand, and it will collapse soon. The rumor that prompted my father to commit suicide is that Danzo sent someone to go out for a walk. The third-generation master has a tacit attitude. How can this happen? At this moment, Kakashi felt that the building called Faith in his heart collapsed. This is the truth about the death of White Fang? In the Second Ninja World War, the Senju clan strayed into the enemy's ambush. Is it designed by the elders? Uchiha Annihilation, not Uchiha Itachi alone? Uzumaki Naruto, no, I should call him Namikaze Naruto, right? He is really the child of adult Fourth Hokage? Oh my god, I actually call him a demon fox. The truth that gushed out like a volcanic eruption caught countless Konoha people off guard. I just felt that their brains were about to explode if so many explosive news were squeezed into them in one go. Not to mention Konoha, even if it is Azzy, a melon-eater Cloud Shinobi, from Wooden Golem, Sand Shinobi's Gaara, Tamari or Mist Shinobi's Terumi Mei. They are all stuck in place collectively, although they all know that Konoha has a custom and tradition of fighting in the nest. But I can't think of exaggeration to such a point. This is no longer the level of fighting in the nest, it is all about catching one's own people to death. No matter it is the same as Naruto, as Ashura reincarnated, Senju Hashirama has a virgin heart. It was Senju Tobirama who appointed Sarutobi Hiruzen as his successor before his death. Advertisement his face was completely black at the moment. Sarutobi Hiruzen's great achievements in managing Konoha have exceeded their cognition. For a while, even if they wanted to scold someone, they couldn't find a suitable vocabulary to scold someone. I want to kill you, and the first to break the silence was the crazy second pillar. The Scarlet Sharingan evolved into a 3-hooked jade at this time. The lightning-style chakra on the left hand broke out too much, even stabbing his own flesh and tear apart. Go straight to the nearest Mitokado Homura. When the Cloud Shinobi Sharingan Jonin who hijacked Mitokado Homura was hesitating how to deal with the matter, he suddenly heard Yèyuè Guāng's understatement. Send him. Upon receiving Yèyuè Guāng's order, the Cloud Shinobi Sharingan Jonin flung Mitokado Homura towards Uchiha Sasuke 677. Mitokado Homura showed extreme panic in his eyes and screamed. Do not, however, the elders teamed up with Mitokado Homura. Ms. Tobirama, save Homura. However, facing the only female disciple's cry for help, Senju Tobirama, whose face was dark from beginning to end, just raised his eyes back to her. Udatane Kaharu, who had always been arrogant, frightened Udatane Kaharu's wings and fell to the ground with those cold eyes. Sign. In the roar of Uchiha Sasuke, Chidori directly pierced Mitokado Homura's heart. It is ironic that the man behind the Uchiha clan extermination was killed by Uchiha survivors. Uchiha Kwan said coldly. The person present who should kill these old guys is you, Naruto. Yèyuè Guāng suddenly squinted at Naruto, but in his tone of voice, his eyes were extremely serious. You are the most qualified to kill them. Go and kill the culprit who caused you to live through 12 years of hell. With that said, Yèyuè Guāng threw a handful of his father Namikaze Minato to Naruto. At this time, Uchiha Kwan found it while passing by the Hokage administration building, and he recovered it easily, but found that he was currently unable to use it. So it was handed over to Yèyuè Guāng for the time being. Chapter 114 kindly give you a beautiful way to die, fourth more seeking subscription. Yèyuè Guāng said, Naruto, you are most qualified to kill them. Although it sounds vicious at first, many people think a little bit. You will feel that the real TMD makes sense. If it is said that the elders have done the bad things in the past, it is still a bit wrong. So for Naruto's care policy, it can't even reflect the wrong reasons. It is purely a poor political method to transfer the villagers' grievances from the poor Konoha high-level officials to a newborn child. After the initial treatment by the medical ninja, Naruto, who was barely able to stand up, held the Sanyu kunai that his father used during his lifetime. The whole body began to shake fiercely and the crumbs shivered and said, This me? What are you waiting for? Naruto, think about your 12-year experience of life worse than death. It was caused by this person. Shouldn't you kill him? Yèyuè Guāng said again, recalling the scene when I was thrown a stone by a child and slumbered by the adults in the village. Naruto's trembling hands gradually stabilized, dragging a heavy step, gritted his teeth and walked towards Sarutobi Hiruzen on the opposite side. Naruto guy, don't really want the Shaoqiangs in the same class as Naruto were all dumbfounded. This idiot who has always been equated with the word cranetail in their impression, does it really want to kill Lord Naruto? Naruto, you won, as a commoner, Haruno Sakura, who has been baptized by the will of fire, the strongest illusionist in the Chunin world, saw Naruto as if he really wanted to kill the third Hokage, whom they regarded as their spiritual idol. Take a step immediately and want to say something. However, he was caught by Yamanaka Ino behind him. Haruno Sakura turned his head to look, only to see Yamanaka Ino shaking his head in panic. Yamanaka Keiichi next to him also used a mosquito bark and said in a low voice, "Don't intervene, it will die, Kun." Even the character of the Virgin Namikaze Minato stays still and motionless. Obviously, he agreed with his son to do this. No matter how good-tempered people are, they are seeing their son be turned into such a misfortune. If you don't get angry anymore, you can only suspect that he has been greened. However, when Naruto dragged an unusually difficult pace and walked in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen, his body began to tremble again. On the other hand, Sarutobi Hiruzen twisted his eyebrows, looked at Naruto, who was trembling with his hands and clasped three-pointed kunai, his heart trembled, and his voice said hoarsely, "Advertisement, Naruto, I hope you understand, the old man treats you like this. I'm paralyzed for you, even if I am very grateful to Sarutobi Hiruzen for ruining Konoha into this virtuous Yèyuè Guāng." He heard the elder's nonsense, for Konoha, over and over again. At this time, I couldn't help but explode. If you want to have a little conscience, you should let Naruto kill you. It's my gratitude to you, don't be ignorant of praise. If you change to other enemies of Sarutobi Hiruzen, it will definitely give Sarutobi Hiruzen a more miserable death. But after thinking about it, Yèyuè Guāng felt that the other party had helped him a lot. Then let him die decently, it should be very suitable to be killed by Naruto. But he never thought that the old monkey had such a thick skin. At this time, he took out his set of rogue theory. Naruto. Replace me if you dare not kill. Compared to Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke is just a lot better. It's so red-eyed, I can't wait to frustrate Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hearing this, Naruto trembled his hands, trying to pierce Sarutobi Hiruzen's throat. However, there was a crisp landing sound of trigeminal kunai. Naruto burst into tears in his eyes, unable to cry. Me. After only a few minutes, I didn't do anything. It is indeed the reincarnation of the Virgin Ashura. Obito killed his parents, forgive me. Otsutsuki almost turned himself green, forgive me. Now facing Sarutobi Hiruzen, who made him live through 12 years of life, it is better than death, forgive me. Namikaze Minato was also secretly relieved when his son stopped. To be honest, although he is very itchy to Konoha's senior management's treatment of his son after his death. But still don't want his son to bear the crime of killing Hokage. The tale of the crane of the benevolence of women. At the moment when Naruto gave up, Sasuke had already rushed over with Chidori, staring directly at Sarutobi Hiruzen's throat, and rushing over, without hesitation, he wanted to chop off the opponent's head. Unlike the weak chicken of Mitokata Homura, when he saw that the Chidori was about to pierce his throat. I don't know if it is out of combat instinct or fear of death. Advertisement. Sarutobi Hiruzen raised his right arm and turned the attack direction of Uchiha Sasuke's left hand Chidori the moment before the Chidori hit him. Then he kicked diagonally and kicked the opponent out more than 10 meters away. Damn it. With the Chidori in his hand, Uchiha Sasuke drew a straight trench on the ground, covering the kick side waist and shouting. Everyone around Cloud Shinobi also showed disdain. They also feel that Sarutobi Hiruzen died in the hands of Naruto or Uchiha Sasuke. It is the most glorious way to die. Everbright is already very kind, okay? Really shameless. Do you think you can live today? I'll go, it's really a dog biting Lu Dongbin. I kindly give you a nice way to die, don't want it. Yèyuè Guāng made the face of the subway grandfather, and then he beckoned. That's it, whoever wants to kill the elders, line up one by one, don't worry. This posture, people who don't know thought it was a sale at the vegetable market. However, this stimulus is much stronger than buying vegetables in the vegetable market. Instead of being kicked, Uchiha Sasuke quickly got up from the ground. Uchiha Izumi, Hyuga Hisshi and other victims who have been persecuted by Konoha's high-level leaders also stepped forward. It is a pity that Tsunade, Nagato and others are not there, Wang Jiao Jiao. Otherwise it's more fun, leave that guy to me. Uchiha Sasuke fixed his gaze on Danzo, whose right eye was Sharingan, who had broken off his right arm, and said in anger. It is him who planned Uchiha's extermination plan and tried to capture the eyes of our clan. People are killed by Itachi, eyes are in Cloud Shinobi's hands. Danzo yelled without tears when he saw the coffin. You are not the ghost behind you. After speaking, Uchiha Sasuke was activated in the state of imprinting the curse, and forcibly activated Chidori for the third time. My second pillar can't clean up Sarutobi Hiruzen, and I can't clean up you, Danzo, the disabled? On the other hand, Sarutobi Hiruzen faced the masters such as Uchiha Izumi and Hyuga Hisshi who came with murderous intent. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, Hokage-sama. Uchiha Izumi you pulled out the Senju Tobarama version of Flying Thunder God Kunai, after you, it's Uchiha Itachi. Chapter 115 Brother Sakura believes in love again, 5th more seeking subscription. Although Danzo is a top-quality parallel importer, he barely reached Cage level when he was young, but now he is only at the level of Jonin. In addition, he had been beaten to death by Uchiha Spring, and the broken arm on the right continued to drip with blood. Facing Uchiha Sasuke's frantic pursuit, he could only retreat in an extremely embarrassing manner. Do not come. Suddenly, Danzo took advantage of other people's attention and used Uchiha Shisui's pupil power to make other people around him trance. Looking at him again, he saw that Danzo had taken Haruno Sakura as a hostage. Little Sakura. Yamanaka Ino cried out in silence. You are too mean, Lord Danzo. Even Konoha's Narulukisa couldn't help but scolded. This scene is like the classic battle in the original work where Danzo had 10 resurrection coins and was shit from 2 pillars. Familiar waste, familiar hijack. Sasuke, save, just me. Haruno Sakura, whose throat was pinched, had a pale face and struggled to ask for help. However, even the current Uchiha Sasuke has been stunned. Although not as frantically as in the original book, he used the Chidori spear and the hostages to penetrate it. But the Chidori in his left hand was still shining with a dazzling current, and he didn't even mean to stop. Maybe Danzo hijacked Naruto, that would be useful. You who advertised self-sacrifice 677 sacrifices actually took hostages. A mocking smile from the bottom of his heart appeared on Uchiha Sasuke's face, and he immediately turned to kill in the next moment and said in a cold voice. Do you think you can survive today, Sasuke-kun? Seeing that Uchiha Sasuke didn't mean to retreat at all, but instead walked towards him, the focus of Haruno Sakura's eyes suddenly enlarged, and the belief in his heart seemed to collapse at this moment. No, as the #1 female licking dog in the Hokage world, how could it collapse? For the village, for the ninja world, the old man must not die here. Danzo, covered in blood, pinched Haruno Sakura's neck with his only remaining arm, and roared like a stray dog. The old man said it, don't come here, otherwise. What? A swift shadow flashed between Uchiha Sasuke and Danzo. Under Danzo's incredible gaze, a handful of kunai marked with a spell fell. Cut off Danzo's left wrist that was holding Haruno Sakura. Haruno Sakura stomped forward a few steps and almost fell face down. Seeing this, Urzuzi frowned and caught the other party smoothly. Sasuke-kun, speak out the name of the other party with affection. The weather has cleared, the rain has stopped, and Sakura believes in love again. Ms. Tobirama. Advertisement. The surprise even overwhelmed the sharp pain from the wrist. He would never have thought that the last person who started on him was his teacher, the person he admired most in his life. Danzo, you have already failed. Senju Tobirama's eyes are full of mixed colors. He didn't expect that the object he would execute after his death was the heir he planned. And his heirs also ruined his own people. No, teacher. I'm not wrong. I am guarding Konoha in your way. Danzo's heartbreaking roar. I taught you how to manage Konoha step by step. I taught you how to kill your own people happily. I taught you that for the power in your hands, you don't hesitate to mutilate the next generation? Danzo, is the will to fire burning the old generation and illuminating the new generation? Why are you the other way around? While screaming madly, Danzo lowered his head and bit his collar with his teeth, and tore off his shirt. Dark strips of curse imprints emerge. Even if it was Senju Tobirama, there was nothing to say at this time. Seeing what Danzo seemed to be doing, Uchiha Sasuke was shocked and threw Haruno Sakura away. The undispersed Chidori rushed towards Danzo whose hands had been broken. Die. Hey, Uchiha kid. Wait a minute, this technique is... Senju Tobirama was shocked when he saw this, and instinctively used Flying Thunder God, grabbing the 2 pillars and retreating together. At the same time, it's all you, Konoha wouldn't be like this without you. The old man is still Konoha's hero. On the other side, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Danzo's good friend, is almost a virtue. The original kind of old man's personal settings could no longer be maintained, and he rushed towards Yèyuè Guāng with a giant shuriken. Hey, don't be dying. Basidi, still thinking about shaking the pot. Okay. I almost lie down to win from start to finish. You are the one who killed so many geniuses of Konoha, alright. Yèyuè Guāng mocked and laughed. Shut up, Sarutobi Hiruzen roared and threw the giant shuriken out, and immediately sealed. The giant shurikens the size of an adult instantly split into dozens of pieces, like a rainstorm rushing towards Yèyuè Guāng. Multiple shuriken technique. Seeing this, Hinata immediately guarded Yèyuè Guāng and waved a small hand. Shinra, however, there is no waiting for Hinata to make a move. Yèyuè Guāng put a hand on her shoulder, indicating that there is no need to use it. Hinata was taken aback for a moment. Suddenly, giant vines climbed up from the soil. Advertisement like a living animal, all the falling giant shurikens are accurately shot. Master Hashirama. Sarutobi Hiruzen turned his head and stared blankly at Senju Hashirama, whose hands and fingers were folded tightly. Monkey, it seems that you, as well as the child named Danzo, failed to understand the true meaning of the will of fire. Senju Hashirama, who was bluffing on weekdays, is now showing his true deterrent power as the ninja god. Even though this impure world reincarnation form could not exert his 20% strength during his lifetime, the aura that erupted is still unbearable for the ninjas present at 90% or more. After hesitating for a while, Senju Hashirama still couldn't do the same as his younger brother Tobirama. Letting go of Jiin's hands, he reluctantly smiled bitterly. Perhaps in that world, I can teach you again. Do you think I was wrong too, Lord Hashirama? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked like he had seen the end of the world. Are you wrong? God has the final say. Uchiha Kwan copied Flying Thunder God Kunai again, and walked with a murderous face. All I want to do now is to send you to see God. Huh, monkey, accept your fate, you should just die in that girl's hands. Senju Hashirama also Tansho Dao. He, who is also the reincarnated Virgin Ashura, did not personally execute Sarutobi Hiruzen. He was kind enough. No, no, I don't want to. Sarutobi Hiruzen backed away in horror. He is not afraid of death, but he does not want to die in this way. At the very least, leave in an upright manner, go down in history as a hero. Sarutobi Hiruzen would never accept this kind of death like a drowning dog. Master Everbright, the name of the country of fire is here. At this moment, Yi Guang reported suddenly. I saw a group of guards with a full face of Zozuru, and his tone was like a eunuch. Has it become like this? Da, Your Excellency Da Ming. Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes lit up the last ray of hope. Yes, are you here to save yourself? Really, God has not given up on himself. However, the Fire Country daimyo, who was regarded as the last savior by Sarutobi Hiruzen, didn't even look at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Turning his head to Yèyuè Guāng. Asuma's head, I sent it to you. In this way, you can keep your promise and lead the new Konoha village to guard the security of the Fire Country, right? When the daimyo of Fire Nation said this, a guard walked up to him behind him and opened the brocade box in his hand. Inside, there is Sarutobi Asuma's first level, chapter 116. When is it so good? 6th more seeking subscription? Except for Yèyuè Guāng's Cloud Shinobi himself. Whether it's Konoha, Sand Shinobi, or even Otoyuki headed by Orochimaru. I saw the head in the brocade box. They all showed a more or less jaw-dropping consternation. Who is Sarutobi Asuma? The current Naruto Sarutobi Day cut the only heir. At the same time, he is also the confidant level guard of the Fire Country daimyo, one of the guardian Nin 12 warriors. And now, the great name of the country of fire actually gave his first level to Yèyuè Guāng. At the moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen only feels the sky spinning. You translate for me, what is the renunciation of the people? This TMD calls everyone to betray their relatives. Kakashi, Might Guy, the hottest favorites, stood on the sidelines. Teacher Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobarama allows the enemy to kill himself. Even when he kneeled and licked his daimyo for decades, he killed his son at the last critical juncture. And he gave his son's head to his enemy, my lord, you. Sarutobi Hiruzen pointed at the daimyo trembling coldly, and her voice was too long to say a complete sentence. What am I? The daimyo of the country of fire has an indifferent attitude, swaying his fan and saying indifferently. Hiruzen, you have been honest and obedient in the past few decades when you were Hokage, but you also have to see, under your governance, how weak is Konoha. If this continues to let you rule, I think that when the next war of Ninja World, the country of fire will be divided by other countries. The Fire Country daimyo turned to look at the messy Konoha village, raised his eyebrows and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen again, with a look of disgust and said. Is it possible that I should wait until that time to impeach you? It is wise to choose someone who is more suitable for Naruto than you to sit in that position, right? Just this morning, the Fire Country daimyo received a secret letter sent by Sarutobi Asuma, who was controlled by Uchiha Spring with Sharingan. The content of the letter is mainly to ask the daimyo to stand in line. Is he standing on the side of Yèyuè Guāng, continuing to be the name, Pocket, of the Land of Fire, or accompany Sarutobi Hiruzen to death? The Fire Country daimyo received this letter without hesitation. The guard immediately cut off Asuma's head and delivered it personally. He didn't want this fire to burn on himself. At the end of the talk, the master of the country of fire folded the fan and pointed it at Hinata next to Yèyuè Guāng. I announce, appoint Hyuga Yèyuè Hinata as 5th Hokage. After a short sluggishness, all the Konoha shinobi players, there was an uproar in their hearts. Advertisement. Is this an official announcement? The daimyo of the country of fire personally came to the venue to announce. Justified, Yèyuè Hinata was announced as the new Naruto. No, impossible, impossible. This must be a dream, it must be a dream. In less than 2 minutes, the last hope turned into despair that crushed the camel's last straw. Sarutobi Hiruzen shouted in a complete collapse. In other words, you are not Naruto now, Sarutobi Hiruzen. Yèyuè Guāng laughed loudly, raised his finger to point towards the other party, and ordered. Now, execute this loser. Uchiha Izumi, Uchiha Sasuke, Hyuga Hishi, etc. have long waited for Sarutobi Hiruzen's dead avengers to gather and attack. I can't wait to eat its flesh and drink its blood. Even so, it is impossible to completely remove the hatred in their hearts. At this moment, whether it is the 250 brainwashed by the will of fire since childhood, or the ninja of the Sarutobi vassal tribe. No one shot. They knew who would dare to stand on the side of the elders. The corpses of the 3 old foxes that have rotten on the side of the road are their role models. 5th generation is that little girl. Although she is of Hyuga blood, it is said that she was taken away by Cloud Shinobi 3 days after she was born. Regardless of her mind or position, she is standing on the side of Cloud Shinobi Village. What will Konoha do in the future? How about? Senju Tobarama frowned and said. Anyway, it won't be worse than it is now. For the next thing, we dead people don't worry anymore. Senju Hashirama laughed heartily. I can't wait to go back to that world and teach the monkeys. Humph. Senju Tobarama snorted coldly. He also knows what Konoha's future will become. It's not something he can take care of anymore, just rely on this wine to take off. It was the realm that his disciples could never reach. The bodies of the Senju brothers and Namikaze Minato began to emit a faint light. This is a sign that the impure world reincarnation is about to be lifted and the soul will return to the pure land. Jiraiya turned his head suddenly. I go, -0 seeking flowers. When did that guy Orochimaru run? Advertisement, Naruto, Dad has always been very sorry to you, but now please allow me to say something to you. Namikaze Minato put his hand on top of Naruto's head, and the iconic sunny smile appeared on his face. I am proud of you. Dad. Naruto burst into tears, unable to speak. Before I leave, I have 2 gifts for you. One thing is Kushina and I, which is your humming mother's entrustment to you, and the other is the other half of Nine Tails. While smiling, Namikaze Minato pressed his right hand to his abdomen, pulled out part of Nine Tails' exclusive red chakra, and then pressed his hand to Naruto's abdomen. Naruto received the last words of his parents on the night of Nine Tails passed by Namikaze Minato. At this moment, become a complete Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Next to the body of Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was dismembered by Ling Kai. Sister Quan, is all this the truth of that night? Uchiha Sasuke, who had calmed down from the state of killing Red Eyes, raised his eyes and asked Uchiha Izumi. For you, that's all. Uchiha Quan silently put the flying thunder god away, pursing his lips and said. But for me, it's not over yet. Sister Quan. Uchiha Sasuke's expression was complicated, and he had vaguely guessed what Uchiha Izumi wanted to say. My mother, she died in Itachi's hands, it is an unavoidable fact. In Uchiha Quan's Kazelan's big eyes, the focus squinted and said. Sasuke, which side are you on? Do you agree with Itachi, join hands with him, or just ignore my fight with him and wait for me to kill him? Suddenly, Uchiha Sasuke was caught in a dilemma. Because of Konoha's destruction plan, there are broken holes all around. It was in the Hokage office in a state of soreness. Yèyuè Guāng and Hinata stepped into it, and through the window Yao looked at the most fertile land in the ninja world. What a beautiful scenery, isn't it, Hinata? Yèyuè Guāng put his hands on the windowsill and said. Hinata feels that the scenery I saw with Odosen is the most beautiful. Hinata sells cute head and kills Yèyuè Guāng's heartbeat fiercely. Damn it. When did this girl rub so well? Again, chapter 117 This wool, I have decided on Onoki, first more seeking subscription. The Konoha destruction plan, with the elders who held the highest authority of Konoha for nearly half a century, was completely destroyed. And it is over. Cloud Shinobi is naturally the biggest winner. On the surface, Yèyuè Hinata, a man of Hyuga family blood, controls Konoha. But in fact, anyone with a normal brain knows that Yèyuè Guāng is in charge. For the death of Fourth Raikage Luosha, Orochimaru will take care of this black pot. He lied that he killed Luo Sha and then found Cloud Shinobi to join forces. And when Itoyan died when Sarutobi Hiruzen died, Orochimaru took the opportunity to drive away with his men. Although based on the current situation, it is unknown whether Uchiha Sasuke can be obtained. But earning the body of a fellow sage of 6 paths is not a loss to Orochimaru. It can barely be regarded as a win-win business in 680. A week later, Konoha Village. With Shi led most of Cloud Shinobi back to Cloud Shinobi Village, the land of thunder. The news of Konoha's successful occupation was also fed back to Fourth Raikage. At the same time, Yèyuè Guāng also wrote a letter. Let Shi agent hand it over to his cousin. The main content of the letter is to let Fourth Raikage transfer part to Konoha to settle down. With the collapse of the elders and the Sarutobi and Shimura tribes. A lot of land was left vacant, no need for nothing. The low of Cloud Shinobi is also being vacated. Let the people of the 2 villages mix together, making it easier to live. Among them, the relocated households include Sammy, Azii, Mabui, and Yèyuè Guāng's confidants, including Wooden Golem. However, Yèyuè Guāng was not too greedy, so he drew all the masters of Cloud Shinobi to Konoha. At least I left the wonderful rap of Killer Bee to I, and added most of the members of the Cyclops. In the 60 years of Konoha, an unprecedented war of aggression took place in the ninja world. Cloud Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, and the 3 major Shinobu villages joined forces to take advantage of Konoha's Chunin exam. Attack Konoha. Facing Konoha under the wise rule of the elders for nearly half a century. Advertisement. The plan planned by Yèyuè Guāng can be said to be unimpeded. The goal of occupying Konoha was accomplished like a broken bamboo. Kill Sarutobi Hiruzen, destroy the elders, threaten the country of fire, and support Yèyuè Hinata as 5th Hokage. The news came out, and the shinobi world was shaken. But actually speaking of shinobi shock is not very accurate. Because the 3 major powers of the 5 powers are all involved. The water country is still under the bloody rule of Uchiha Obito. At this time, Runtu was busy planning a plan to capture the tail beast and didn't care about it. And to be honest, he still looks down on Yèyuè Guāng's action of fighting for power. Anyway, once Project Tsuki no Mi is completed, people all over the world will enter a perfect new world. This is the real greatness, but you have to be careful, Obito. In Kirigakure Mizukage's office, the black and white Chuangju suddenly appeared half of his head from the ceiling, among which Black Zetsu said in a low voice. A woman named Jerumi Mei, next to Yèyuè Guāng, is a ninja who is in the blood limit. The next action of that guy is very likely. Don't call me Obito. Uchiha Obito waved angrily. I have my own way, I don't need to remind you. Okay, well, I see. Anyway, you should be careful so as not to overturn the boat in the gutter. White Zetsu teased. Chuangju sneaked back into the wall again. Throughout the 5 major countries, the only one who was frightened by the Konoha destruction plan was actually Iwagakure, the country of soil. When I received the news that Cloud Shinobi had occupied Konoha, Onoki, who has been serving as 3rd Tsuchikage for more than 50 years, was frightened. You know, his old bones like Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo are still older. I lived through the era when Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara shared the hands of Konoha. Konoha of that period was so powerful that it was desperate. Onogi couldn't imagine it. Konoha, which was so terrifying back then, is now occupied by another village. Is this really? See you for a long time? Tsuchikage-sama, what should we do? Advertisement. Huang too barely suppressed the shock in his heart and asked Onogi for instructions. 0. Who is the guy who succeeds the old fox Sarutobi Hiruzen? Onoki turned his eyes and asked. Yèyuè Hinata, according to the investigation, is the daughter of Yèyuè Guāng. No, the adopted daughter. It is said that although she is only 13 years old, her strength is extremely terrifying. Lois reports truthfully. 13 girls who are Hokage. A trace of disdain appeared in Onoki's eyes. After all, old age is also a kind of capital, not to mention that he has been Tsuchikage for 50 years. But then focus on intelligence information. Compared with Sarutobi Hiruzen in charge of Konoha, there is no cage-level weak chicken period except for the shadow of his neck buried in Lois in the whole village. There are Yèyuè Guāng in Konoha at the moment, and the two are guarded by several strong men such as Wooden Golem and Mangekyo Sharingan holder Uchiha Kwan. Konoha, who has been invaded, has not weakened, and is very likely to double its strength. Damn it. Why didn't I realize that Konoha had become so poor without knowing it? Otherwise, it was me who got Konoha at this time. Onoki said in regret. Damn, it feels like the cooked duck is flying. Then, sir, what are you going to do? The future leg shadow Heitu asked with blinking eyes. How is Kirigakure now? After a brief thought on 2.3, a light bulb appeared on the top of Onoki's show. Isn't this still a weak country? Kirigakure in the blood mist in the country of water? After more than 10 years of maddening blood mist rule by the boy who constructed Tachibana Yagura, Mist Shinobi's blood ninjas were all killed. The current water country should be as weak as the fire country. Although the country of water is located across the sea, Rock Shinobi cannot take Kirigakure as his own like Cloud Shinobi occupied Konoha. But at least you can fish Kirigakure hard and squeeze the wool. Thinking of this, Oyemu was so excited that his old face was a little red and bloodshot, and he ordered. Quick! Assemble the ninja army and prepare to raid Mist Shinobi. This time, you can't let other ninja villages pick up the bargain. This wool, I have decided on Onoki. Chapter 118 Non My Race, Abandoned Exhibition, second more seeking subscription. In a village on the southern border of Kawa no Kuni, a group of rascals who looked fierce and wicked, at first glance were not good things, blocked the entrance of the hotel. They are all thugs hired by domestic casinos in Kawa no Kuni. After getting the legendary fat sheep, here, they rushed over to collect debts. The Lai of Dam it has owed a huge amount of gambling debts of nearly 100 million taels in the country of Sichuan in the past 2 years. I must collect this account today. At this time, the door of the hotel was finally opened just as these casino thugs were about to swarm them. It was discovered that she came out and was an immature blonde girl who was not more than 10 years old by visual inspection. It was completely different from their impression that the big fat sheep who was around 25 years old and had 2 balls hanging on his body was completely different. Seeing the gang of fierce rogues at the door, the girl made a solemn look, shaking her petite body and screaming to escape. If you change to normal and see a girl with such exquisite features, these rascals may still have the idea of kidnapping this girl and selling it to a powerful official. But now, their goal is after the fat sheep. However, we waited from noon until sunset. No one entered or left the hotel again. Damn it, isn't this woman too tolerant? Lousy, can't stand it anymore. Go straight in. Standing at the front end, a 10-faced gambler shouted angrily and opened the front door of the hotel with one foot and strode in. The others looked at him sympathetically. Although it is the legendary fat sheep, it is also the legendary Sanin. If you provoke that woman, this fat pig will be beaten to death, right? What about people? Why aren't people gone? However, half a minute later, there was a scream from the fat debt collector in the store. When the other debt collectors guarding the door heard this, they rushed into the store one after another. Turned every room and even the closet upside down. But there is no human figure? Let the old lady run away again? For a time, all the debt collectors' eyes fired, and the same thought came into being. On the official road dozens of miles away from the village, a wild laugh appeared on Tsunade's charming face. Ha ha ha. With this kind of stuff, I want to catch me Tsunade-ji. Let's practice for another 100 years. After a lot of laughter, Tsunade touched the thin wallet that was inversely inverse to his own Yu Hong's ultimate and said, however, I have offended the casinos of Kawa no Kuni all over, so I have to change the place to gamble. Shizune, who followed Tsunade's disciple and entourage since childhood, hugged his pet Shangzu helplessly. Advertisement, forget it, get used to it. Third Hokage is dead. The new Hokage is actually a little girl under 13 years old. At this moment, a group of travelers passed by Tsunade and Shizune and chatted. How did you respond to his village? Z% 1% at San Shinobi also participated in this operation, didn't they? They also lost Fengying. Who will take over 5th Kage? I'm curious. Baki, right? He has been 4th Kage's confidant for many years. Hear the conversation of this group of travelers. Tsunade and Shizune's expressions changed suddenly. Tsunade violently twisted the collar of one of the travelers and roared. What you said just now, tell me in detail. The deterrence of the female Tyrannosaurus scared several travelers almost to pee their pants, so they could only tell Tsunade what happened to Konoha Chunan's exam the other day. After a few seconds, Tsunade finally released the opponent. Several travelers turned around and ran away in fright. Master Tsunade. Shizune opened her mouth, but didn't know what to say. I can only hold the Shangzu sluggishly on the spot, waiting for Tsunade's decision to be made. Go. After a while, Tsunade Zuju lightly opened and uttered a word with great difficulty. Konoha Village. At the same time that the group of elders headed by Sarutobi Hiruzen declared the group annihilated. Sarutobi and Shimura also declared their disappearance from ninja history through the same extinction ending as Uchiha. Therefore, the vast Sarutobi tribe land, Shimura tribe land, has also become two huge vacant land. This piece of land was used by Yèyuè Guāng to house the Cloud Shinobi Village folk ninja who moved from Cloud Shinobi to Konoha. The first thing to be solved is Konoha's construction work. The Konoha collapse plan has so many powerful melees that have caused very serious damage to Konoha. In the Naruto office, Ma Bui was standing next to Hokage's desk, holding the information board in one hand, and handing over the documents that had just been submitted by his subordinates in the other hand, eloquently saying. Secondly, Anbu, who is directly under Naruto, and Anbu, who is also Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart and stomach team, also suffered a heavy loss. After discussion, it has been decided that Uchiha Izumi will be the new head of the Anbu team. Although he overthrew the rule of third Hokage, as the longest-serving Hokage in history, his influence on many villagers is very significant. Many villagers are extremely unsteady and even oppose it. I think that despite the financial constraints, we still have to make Hinata your rock sculpture first, so that you can establish your authority as 5th Hokage. Asabu Yi, who served as Raikage's assistant under 4th Raikage for 10 years, was also very good at handling Hokage's assistant affairs. Advertisement Hinata, who was sitting at Hokage's desk, was overwhelmed by Asabu Yi's series of proposals. But he still read the documents piled up into a hill with a serious face. Really, Mabui, you put things into Hinata's mind like you, and don't think about how she can stand it. Yèyuè Guāng hugged more than half of the stack of documents on Hinata's desk in front of him with a fond look, and chuckled while helping the baby Hinata to read it. Mabui flipped Byakugan, and raised the fringe before his eyebrows. I have already simplified these documents in advance before handing them in, okay? After all, it's not just you who messed up Konoha so much and caused so much follow-up work now. Don't worry, it's because Konoha is in the rebuilding period, and I have to make Hinata tired. When it enters the stable period, I, Wooden Golem, and Samui will help, and will not delay your baby Hinata's time. Speaking of the back, Ma Bui scratched Yèyuè Guāng again. All 680 women who have a close relationship with Yèyuè Guāng know that Hinata is the most precious thing in Yèyuè Guāng. Even if you taste it, you can't help it. This B********* D can't correct it anyway. I'm sorry, but you have worked hard too. Yèyuè Guāng also noticed the dark circles around Ma Bui's eyes and apologized again and again. Before I came to Asabu Yi to hand over these documents to Hinata, a lot of simplification work must have been done beforehand. Otherwise, as the new Hokage, Hinata will only double the number of things it has to deal with. However, there are some things you don't need to be so concerned about. Yèyuè Guāng picked up one of the documents. The content report above said that there are still many 250 people who have been deeply affected by the will of fire, and they are still dissatisfied with the new boss of Hokage. After all, Sarutobi Hiruzen and the elders have ruled Konoha for nearly 50 years. Even if he did countless assholes, but for the villagers now living in Konoha village, the influence even surpasses Senju Hashirama. Therefore, even if the official announcement of the name of the country of fire is obtained, the rule of Yèyuè Guāng and Hinata, there are still countless Konoha village residents who are resisting. These people, after all, are not our Cloud Shinobi classmates, so there is no need to put too much thought on them. Yèyuè Guāng's tone became colder and colder. This kind of mess is bothering my baby Hinata, looking for death. Then just do you think Asabu Yi frowned slightly. Contact the next name. Yèyuè Guāng smiled and said. Let him do me another favor and get rid of all these swordsmen. Chapter 119 The Awakening of the Woman's Attributes, 3rd More Seeking Subscription. It's still the same as before. I really feel more and more that you are a member of Cloud Shinobi Village, it's great, Hikari. After listening to Yèyuè Guāng's suggestion, Mabui couldn't help but once again raise the idea that Yèyuè Guāng as a ninja of Cloud Shinobi is so good. If he were Konoha, or someone from another village, he would surely become Cloud Shinobi's most terrible enemy. Other villages are okay, Konoha, I don't know if my character can survive the first 5 chapters. Yèyuè Guāng half joked. In fact, sometimes he imagined it himself. If it is to cross to Konoha, what will happen? If it's Senju Hashirama or Senju Tobarama, it's still acceptable. However, the Sarutobi Hiruzen 4-member group has controlled Konoha's highest authority for more than 40 years during the 60 years when Konoha was established. If I have traveled to their reign, even if you have a system, you can only hold your tail with your tail in the early stage, right? Sometimes I think back to some of the Hokage and humanities that I saw in the past life that traveled to Konoha. The protagonist first entered the ninja school and defeated the examiner with the power of Long Aocean. Shi Zhang enters school and picks up girls madly. At that time, Yèyuè Guāng felt that the protagonist had a brain disease. Dare to pretend to be so coercive during Third Hokage's administration? Kun can't see Hitaki Shumo, Uchiha Shisui's fate? But even so, it is the time of Konoha's reconstruction. Even if you remove these 205 prudent fire will poison. The remaining workload is still a lot. Asabu Yi proposed to let Nara Shikahisa, Konoha's first think tank, share part of it. But Yèyuè Guāng refused. It's okay to hand over unimportant transactional work to Naruto. But the decisive event for an entire village must be oneself or Hinata. He wouldn't be like Sarutobi Hiruzen, and he would have 3 elders who are equal to himself. Are you crazy? All he has to do is to take over the power? Decentralization? Don't even think about it. Dong dong dong. The knock on the door suddenly sounded. Out of instinctive reaction, Yèyuè Guāng just wanted to shout, Inta. But instantly remembered that Hinata was Hokage now, and turned his head and rubbed Hinata's little head. With a look in his eyes, Hinata instantly understood Yèyuè Guāng's meaning, but still shouted in a shy and soft voice. Please, come in. Advertisement. There is no need to add the word, please, to show the majesty of being the leader of a village. Yèyuè Guāng taught. I see, Odosen. Hinata nodded obediently. Taste, the door opened. Oncoming, it was Yi Guang and the third sister and brother of Fengying who led him. Tamari, Konkuro, Gaara. Yèyuè Guāng's expression was slightly stagnant, but he recovered his calm in the blink of an eye, and asked with a smile. This combination is quite novel. What's wrong? That. Yi Guang, who is usually solemn and decisive, also seems undecided and hesitant at this moment. Can't say a complete sentence for a long time. Upon seeing this, Tamari stood up and said. Yèyuè Guāng, Lord Yèyuè Guāng, we Sanagakure have a request. We hope Lord Yi Guang will return to San Shinobi and serve as 5th Kazekage. It can be judged from the slightly trembling voice. The Princess San Shinobi talked to Yèyuè Guāng, but her heart still took a break. After all, whether it is a single move that can destroy the ninja power of several mountains, or it is a political method that Konoha can be used as one's own while talking and laughing. There is no doubt the level of the ceiling of the ninja world. Just talking to such a person is enough to make her such a little white like sitting on pins and needles. It's because of this that you hesitated? Yèyuè Guāng turned his gaze to Yi Guang, raised his right hand and stroked her side face. Seeing this scene, Tamari and Konkuro's eyes suddenly glared like bells. Is this kind of relationship between these two people? On the surface, Gaara didn't seem to have any special reaction. But from the slightly condensed pupils, it can also be seen that his heart is not calm. Yi Guang of Scorch Style, heard of her name when she was very young. I thought he was dead, but unexpectedly he had been acting as Captain Anbu in Cloud Shinobi Village. Yi Guang's eyes were filled with reluctance and hesitation. As early as in the operation to kill Luosha, Yèyuè Guāng had suggested that he should be the shadow of the wind. At that time Yi Guang refused, the reason she was not embarrassed to say. Because he is used to staying beside this man, advertisement. But now, through the mouth of Tamari, she knows that the current situation in Sanagakure is not optimistic. Luosha is indeed not an extremely arrogant and powerful fan. But it is also Sanagakure's only cage level. With his death, the only strong man in the village who can still handle it is the retired Thousand Generations. However, this living fossil is no longer to the extent that the loess is buried in the neck, it is completely buried in the forehead. It is impossible for her to act as 5th Kazekage no matter how you think. The strongest in the village is Baki, who is Luosha's confidant. But the strength of Baki is also the elite of Jonin, even the quasi-film can't reach it. To be a wind shadow is too reluctant. As a result, San Shinobi's senior management turned their attention to Yi Guang, who was dead and resurrected. There are 2 main reasons. The strength that Sakura showed in the midline of Konoha Destruction Project cage level. Although it is just the kind of cage level that just crossed the cage level doorframe, it is undoubtedly cage level and the strength is enough. Second, the relationship with Yèyuè Guāng. Although it is not very clear what the relationship between Yi Guang and Cloud Shinobi is, at least it can be judged. She is also Yèyuè Guāng, the #1 man in the ninja world, and has a close relationship. She serves as 5th Kazekage, which is undoubtedly the best choice right now. Even the daimyo of the Country of Wind agreed to this proposal by the top of San Shinobi. Send out an autograph letter to invite Yi Guang. Originally, Yi Guang refused, but learned of the crisis in the hidden situation of Sha, the king's money. Yi Guang, who still has deep feelings for his hometown of Wind, hesitated. Do you want me to be? After struggling for a long time, Yi Guang finally gave the choice to this man. But the complexity of a woman's mind is often far beyond ordinary people's imagination. After asking this question, Yi Guang became entangled in his heart again. What if he lets me go? Will he accompany me to Sanagakure? Impossible. After all, San Shinobi is in such a harsh environment compared to Konoha. And my position in his heart is not as good as Hinata. How could he leave Hinata to accompany me? Then, if he agrees, does it prove that he doesn't care about me at all? In less than a second, more than a dozen questions popped up in Yi Guang's mind. If Yèyuè Guāng knew what was thinking in her mind at the moment, you will be extremely speechless, and Yi Guang still has a bit of resentment attributes with you. Chapter 120 A Cup of Vanilla Taro Milk Tea, 4th More Seeking Subscription. From the original work, Sand Shinobi executives can make Gaara, a tail beast that cannot perfectly control the tail beast, and Jinchuriki, who has been emotionally restless until the end of the Chunin exam, serves as the 5th case gauge. It is enough to see how Baron Tsunagakure's combat power is. Yi Guang, dead and resurrected, at this time, in the eyes of Sand Shinobi's senior management, he naturally became a more suitable candidate than Gaara. In addition, the black pot that killed Luo Sha has been carried by Orochimaru. She is certainly the most suitable candidate for 5th case gauge. Do you want me to be? When Yi Guang, who belonged to Bingshan Yuji like Renshei and Samyi, asked this sentence with a teary expression. Yèyuè Guāng said that if he still couldn't see the girl's mind, he would waste his EQ of the official Yèyuè. Bend his neck down and spoke a word in Yi Guang's ear with a volume that only she could barely hear. 2 unnatural flushes suddenly appeared on Yi Guang's face, and he nodded immediately. Master Yi Guang. Tamari blinked in confusion, and wanted to ask Yi Guang about his decision. Because it was the reason for standing behind Yi Guang, the third sister and brother of Fengying didn't notice Yi Guang's expression strange. On the contrary, Azabui on the front could clearly see the change in Yi Guang's face 680. Secretly swallowed his mouth, behaving a little tastefully. Can you please wait for me at the main entrance of Konoha tomorrow? Yi Guang quickly controlled his emotions and turned around to say the 3 sisters. Although they didn't get a definite answer, Tamari and the others secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Tell yourself to wait for her, instead of directly rejecting it. Explain that the possibility of agreeing is still great. After getting an ambiguous answer, the third sister and brother of Fengying could only return to the hotel residence for the time being, waiting for Yi Guang's specific reply tomorrow. However, it is not waiting for the third sibling to go out. Another beautiful mature woman rushed into the office and almost knocked down Tamari, who was about to open the door. Sorry. After apologizing like Tamari, Terumi Mei hurried to Yèyuè Guāng, not as reserved as Mabui or Yi Guang, and directly hugged Yèyuè Guāng's right arm. While I was very anxious, the tone still had its own coquettish voice. Light, listen to me. Just now Quan told me that Iwagakure is gathering large-scale troops and is driving towards the country of water, Baisidi. You haven't forgotten the 10-year appointment? If you forget, I can't forgive you. Advertisement vixen. Seeing Terumi Mei trapping Yèyuè Guāng's right arm in her pair of chariots, Mabui and Yi Guang couldn't help but cursed inwardly. But for them to do the same behavior as Terumi Mei, they are incredible to do it. It's okay to have a face, and it's not that everyone is in love like Terumi Mei. Hinata was unexpectedly calm, watching from start to finish with a cute look. There is quite a sense of calmness that she sneered and let her sorrow, and the breeze was blowing on the hills. Anyway, his status is unshakable. Tamari and the others were also dumbfounded by Terumi Mei's coquettish behavior. These women, but when I heard the second half of Terumi Mei's words, the jealousy on Mabui and Yi Guang's faces turned into shock in an instant. The Rock Shinobi Ninja Army is marching towards the country of water again. The last time the country of soil and the country of water fought, it was the first battle in the ninja world half a century ago, when the rivals second Tsuchikage and second Mizukage died together, right? Yèyuè Guāng calmly enjoyed Terumi Mei's chariot, and his expression was still serious. In all likelihood, we see Cloud Shinobi occupying Konoha. We are jealous and want to take advantage of it, so we set our sights on the country of water. Onoki's mind is not difficult to guess. As long as you think about it, you can understand it. Azabui analyzed his cheek with one hand and said, after 4th Mizukage constructed Tachibana Yagura for more than 10 years to rule in the Bloody Mist, now Mist Shinobi's Kagaya, Snow, Ghost Lamp and many other blood-inherited bound ninjas have all been annihilated, and the 7 ninja swords are all dead. Kirigakure, like Konoha before the Chunin exam, was weakened to the extreme, so Onoki would aim for the country of water. Light, Terumi Mei stretched her voice. Okay, well, I know, you go to gather the ninja army first, pick out the people you want to take, and say it's my order. Yèyuè Guāng said helplessly. To be honest, he was also a little surprised. He thought that helping Terumi Mei regain Mist Shinobi was a complete win. Unexpectedly, because of the butterfly effect, Oimu, the living fossil, also came into play. Thank you, moi. Terumi Mei didn't care that there were a lot of people here, so she stood on her tiptoe and hit Yèyuè Guāng's side face. The girls such as Hinata, Tamari and others made a big blush on the spot. Advertisement at night, the Sarutobi tribe. No, it is now an accommodation area for Cloud Shinobi immigrants. Yekang's house. Yèyuè Guāng turned off all the lights, but still lit the candles. He thinks this is more atmospheric, and he can see the girl's appearance. I really don't feel the black light. Yi Guang, you should wear a ninja suit. Yèyuè Guāng said that although he likes to let his sister wear special clothes, such as Samui's dead reservoir water, Terumi Mei's ear-free, and even plans to let Hinata wear more cheongsam in the future. But Yi Guang, after trying a few times, still felt that the female ninja suit was the most suitable for her. Pervert you. Yi Guang made a few words from his teeth with great difficulty. Here is a cup of vanilla taro mashed milk tea. No taro, no milk tea. Foster Gaara. 2 hours later, Yi Guang, who had gradually recovered his consciousness, listened to Yèyuè Guāng's proposal. The eyes that gradually returned from the blurred normal showed the color of error and shock. After drinking the milk tea, Yèyuè Guāng also expressed his thoughts. Since Sand Shinobi executives want Yi Guang to be 5th Hokage, they should sigh. During this vacant period, Yèyuè Guāng wanted to train Gaara. Teach him how to control the tail beast perfectly. To say something nice is to be kind to him, to say something bad is to brainwash him. Cough cough, how can it be called brainwashing? This is called the will of fire. Gaara in the middle and late stages of the original work, like Terumi Mei, belongs to the shadow of a bright and upright acting style. Trustworthy. And Yèyuè Guāng wanted to go one step further and cultivate Gaara like wooden golem, able to fully believe in his perfect Jinchuriki. When Yi Guang wants to return to him, Gaara will take over. Anyway, he also wants to be a wind shadow. Chapter 121 Yi Guang. It's just the task of the master, 5th more seeking subscription. The next day, at the entrance of Konoha, the third sister and brother of Fengying, who had been waiting here early in the morning, saw the arrival of Yèyuè Guāng and Yi Guang. Yi Guang also expressed his willingness to go to Tsunade with them. Tamari and Konkuro showed the surviving smiles one after another. Finally, the cage-level powerhouse will be in charge, and Sand Shinobi's life will be much better. Although Gaara was calm on the surface, she was actually relieved in her heart. You keep it. Yèyuè Guāng suddenly put a hand on Gaara's shoulder. Under the other's puzzled gaze, he said, "You are also tossed by the civet cat in your body, right? I'll let people teach you how to control it." Gaara's pupils wrapped in dark circles suddenly shrank suddenly. The smiles on Tamari and Konkuro's faces also changed from excitement to consternation. Although they know that Cloud Shinobi has 2 perfect Jinchuriki. But Yèyuè Guāng was actually willing to teach this to Gaara. Does this kind of pie-in-the-sky good thing really exist? Gaara will stay in Konoha. After you learn how to control the tail beast perfectly, then go back to Sand Shinobi. Yi Guang also said. After hesitating for a long time, Tamari nodded in agreement. I also think Master Yi Guang made sense. Originally, the relationship with Gaara was extremely bad, but Konkuro, who has now eased, also said at this time. To be honest, most people in the village still treat you as a monster. If you can return with a perfect Jinchuriki posture, those guys wouldn't dare to say anything. I see, this time the village will ask you, Tamari, Konkuro, and... Gaara turned his gaze to Yi Guang, and bowed slightly after a few seconds of stagnation. Master 5th generation. Tamari and Konkuro are stupid. Is this really Gaara? Well, leave it to me. Yi Guang also showed a rare smile Kaido. While the third sister and brother said goodbye, Yi Guang walked to Yèyuè Guāng and said in a low voice. I am leaving. Rong Baba looks very much like a big dog raised by Yèyuè Guāng in his previous life when he was separated from him. It's not that I can't see it anymore, I want to see each other, I come here anytime. Hearing Yèyuè Guāng's comfort, Yi Guang Benin instinctively wanted to say, then you go to the Kingdom of Wind with me. But her EQ is not so low. Advertisement Yi Guang knew in his heart the virtues of that ghost place in the Kingdom of Wind. And she herself is very self-aware, knowing that it is impossible to compete with Hinata. The dead man, he has been accounted for all his life. Thinking of this, Yi Guang held both sides of Yèyuè Guāng's cheeks with both hands, and took the initiative to stand up on his toes. Not to mention the third sister and brother of Fengying who silently turned their heads to the other side. Even Yèyuè Guāng himself was shocked. FK, I have known Yi Guang for almost 7 years, right? This seems to be the first time she has taken the initiative? It doesn't seem to be the case. The catastrophic experience in Konoha 7 years ago was also initiated by Yi Guang. However, neither of them wanted to mention that dark history. After a long time, Yi Guang left with Tamari and Konkuro. Do you teach me yourself? The back of the 3 had just left, and Gaara hesitated to question Yèyuè Guāng. Some are not used to using honorific titles. Yèyuè Guāng Zili just spit out 2 words and suddenly felt a pain in his ears. Damn it, who doesn't want to live anymore? Dare to pull his ears from Master Yi? Resist the urge to slap the opponent to death and turn his head to look. Sister Ming's eyes sharpened. Ming, are you here so early? Yèyuè Guāng managed to pull a smile. Are you very comfortable kissing that old woman Yi Guang? Terumi Mei asked without a smile. Even though she is a love brain and a marriage freak, she thinks she doesn't have the feeling of jealous. On the contrary, she became more jealous than other women. The female cage level, who has 2 kinds of blood inheritance boundaries and also learned the secret technique of Senju Togurama water style, is joking with you. Old woman, when Terumi Mei called Yi Guang, Yèyuè Guāng was speechless. Yi Guang is also 3 or 4 years older than you, right? And after 2 years, you were still scolded by Xianglin as an old woman, and you couldn't get married when you were in your 40s. Of course, Yèyuè Guāng said this in his heart, otherwise Terumi Mei would definitely be blackened on the spot and kill herself. This emotion is this emotion, it's not easy to control. Advertisement Yèyuè Guāng hit haha road, humph. After all, in front of other people, Terumi Mei knew that he should give the man face, and quickly let go of the other person. But still a little angry and sulky. I have chosen the ninja army to capture Konoha. When will I leave? So fast? Who did you choose? Soon, Konoha Central Plaza. Terumi Mei's first choice is naturally Kimimaro and Bai, 2 survivors of Mist Shinobi who were born in Mist Shinobi. How can we lack the 2 of them to take back a major event like Mist Shinobi? By the way, Otsutsuki's cells are almost as effective as Hashirama cells on Mangekyo's side effects for dead bone pulses hemorrhagic disease. Surprisingly good. Although he has not recovered, at least he is out of danger and can return to fighting. The only minor problem is Yèyuè Guāng noticed the face of the Otsutsuki Sharon on the side of Kimimura's chest, and the corners of his eyebrows twitched twice. Marrying a wife from now on will scare people when doing that kind of thing, right? Even if Tenseigan is given up, Yèyuè Guāng will never allow Hanabi to transplant Otsutsuki cells. Except for his own people like Bai, Kimimaro. Yèyuè Guāng discovered that Terumi Mei also chose Kakashi, Might Guy, etc. Konoha shinobi who had experience playing against Kirigakure in the Third Ninja War. Anyway, he is now under his own command, no need for nothing. Cloud Shinobi Ninja accounted for 30%, and Konoha Shinobi accounted for 70%. The Cloud Shinobi Konoha United Ninja Army, who is in the top thousands, is preparing to launch the Mist Shinobi Recapture Project. I didn't expect that there would be another day of war with Mist Shinobi. Kakashi was obviously thinking of some past that he didn't want to recall, and his eyebrows were tightly guarded and muttered to himself. Yeah, but I heard that Mist Shinobi's situation is not optimistic. After all, he has gone through the period of blood mist. Might Guy's rough nerves also rarely show a deep expression. Mist Shinobi, for him, is also a reluctant memory. His father died in the hands of the Mist Shinobi 7 to save himself and his 2 teammates. However, I heard that Mist Shinobi's 7 ninja swords are now dead in name. Introduce a new member who joined temporarily, Sand Waterfall, Gaara. At this time, Yèyuè Guāng led Gaara to the crowd and announced. Again. Chapter 122 Konoha is dying too fast, right? 6th more seeking subscription. One-tailed Jinchuriki, son of Fourth Raikage, didn't he return to Tsunade? Why is he staying here? Looking at the Gaara brought by Yèyuè Guāng, many ninjas, especially Konoha shinobi, couldn't help showing incredible expressions on their faces. Among all the people here, Kakashi is the one with the fastest mind and raised his eyebrows slightly. Calculating carefully, Yèyuè Guāng now has 2 strong villages, Cloud Shinobi and Konoha. Are you still planning to reach out to Sand Shinobi now? Unfortunately, they didn't know that Yèyuè Guāng had let Yi Guang be the shadow of the wind. Otherwise, I don't know what kind of expression it will show. From Wooden Golem, you teach him how to control the power of the tail beast. Yèyuè Guāng turned his head and faced Wooden Golem. Looking at the woman walking towards him, Gaara's brain, 680 inches subconsciously emerged from the previous battle of Konoha destruction. The cat demon who turned the chaos on the other side of the battlefield on the other side of Konoha upside down, burning with blue flames by the lake. At that time, the distance was too far. He hadn't played against you Wooden Golem, just glanced away. Yèyuè, you fellow, have you surrendered to humans? Suddenly, Shohei's voice rang in Gaara's mind, and he was immediately startled. Without waiting for Gaara to act, a feminine voice rang in her mind. I haven't seen you for so long, you are still the same, Morizaru, isn't it good to get along with Jinchuriki? You can also live easier. Shuhei roared angrily. My uncle is different from you, Erwei, Lousy will not beg for humanity. Noting the surprised look of Gaara, explained by Wooden Golem. The tail beasts have the ability to communicate with each other, and Jinchuriki can also hear them. There is nothing to be surprised about. Although it is the Mist Shinobi takeover plan, Kirigakure is afraid that it will not be too resistant. In all likelihood, the main opponent is Rock Shinobi who wants to take advantage of the fire. Just when Shohei and Matabi had an endless quarrel. Yèyuè Guāng opened his mouth, and Wooden Golem and Gaara immediately turned their eyes to look at them. Just listen to Yèyuè Guāng continue. Therefore, it is not so much a fight for a return, but a competition. Although I have just experienced a war and I have no interest in starting a war with Rock Shinobi, I don't have to be polite when I meet them, just do it. Yagura who messed up Mist Shinobi, I will definitely not let him go. Terumi Mei secretly squeezed the powder fist, the resentment that overflowed from the body surface almost condensed into a physical state. Yèyuè Guāng scratched his head, but still did not tell Terumi Mei Yagura the true identity of the man behind him. Advertisement after all, Uchiha Obito's name is still carved on Konoha's memorial monument. Suddenly he took out a man who had been dead for 15 years and said that he was the real man behind the scenes in the blood mist. Who believes it, the country of water, Kirigakure. Akatsuki's headquarters is in Rain Shinobi Village. In fact, most Akatsuki members don't know, they always thought Kirigakure was Akatsuki's base. At least, the base before the tail beast plundering plan is officially launched is here. In the meeting room of the Mizukage administration building. 10 members of the Shao organization gathered here in the form of the magic lantern technique. Naturally, they also knew about the earth-shattering changes that Konoha had happened. To be honest, the other 4 of the 5 big countries are guys rich and oily and not a country of fire. Ninja knows this well. But Cloud Shinobi attacked Konoha in one day, this really shocked all Akatsuki. 5 years in the Second Ninja War, the Third Ninja War 4 years. Countries continue to launch fierce attacks like the country of fire, but they have not been able to bite off this hard bone. The result now? Taken in one day. Your Konoha is dying too fast. But even so, most Akatsuki members still don't have much mood swings about this. Although the personality and purpose are different. But there is no interest in the change of power in the ninja world. If you really want to talk about someone who cares about Konoha's situation, he is probably the only one. The pattern of the ninja world has changed so much, it is necessary to investigate before the start of the tail beast capture plan, and I will be responsible for it. Listen to Uchiha Itachi being the first to speak. In order to protect Konoha, he did not hesitate to hide in the underground of Nanga Shrine, including his mother's Uchiha, the old and weak women and children, to be slaughtered. Today, however, Konoha has become Yèyuè Guāng's personal belongings. This made Uchiha Itachi couldn't help but produce a strong sense of defeat of a lifeless life and eventually making a wedding dress for others. For a while, he couldn't help being a little confused. Advertisement: what should I live for in the future? No matter what, let's make sure of Sasuke's situation first. Hearing this, other members of the organization showed their horror of errors. This indifferent guy is not willing to ask for it, he is reluctant to say 2 words in his daily life. Is this S**X turned? If you change to the usual, Heavenly Path Pain will promise Uchiha this proposal almost out of 10. But not right now. No, now Onoki of Rock Shinobi, and Yèyuè Guāng of Cloud Shinobi, are leading the army and are coming towards Mist Shinobi in 2 ways. Tiandao Pain coldly ordered, Alfie, you and Ju are responsible for bringing 3 tails back, Itachi and Kisame, you 2 are responsible for escorting to avoid accidents. A fray naturally refers to the word Uchiha who wears the Uzumaki mask. A place was vacated because of Orochimaru's defection. After thinking for a long time, Uchiha Obito finally decided to join as a fray and form a team with Ju. Still pretended to be a second-hand living treasure. At present, Akatsuki's members in Kirigakure are 4 of them. Mean, give up Kirigakure? Hoshigaki Kisame turned to ask. Although it is his hometown, his tone did not show much dissatisfaction with 2.3. After all, he is a supporter of Project Tsuki no Mi. The mentality is more similar to Uchiha Obito. It doesn't matter what happens to this hypocritical world. The tail beast seizure plan is ready to go, and Kirigakure's value has been completely exploited. There is nothing to miss. Heavenly Dao Pain said coldly, then his body turned into an afterimage and disappeared, taking the lead to offline. Yèyuè Guāng's ninja army led by Hitaki Kakashi. Before leaving, he whispered in Uchiha Obito's ear. What do you mean? Through the mask, Uchiha Obito gave him a cold look. It's nothing, just remind you not to be emotional. White Zetsu ridiculed. After all, it is the object who will talk about in dreams. Chapter 123 Everbright, can you help me? First, one more seeking subscription? Although Onoki was irritated by the fact that Cloud Shinobi easily took Konoha, he also immediately turned his target to the dying Kirigakure, wanting to learn Yèyuè Guāng's wool. But after all, the country of soil and the country of water are too far apart. To arrive at the water country without entering the fire country, you must detour from the north, although the country of fire and the country of water also face each other across the sea. But the distance is not far away, so when the ninja army led by Yèyuè Guāng and Terumi Mei resisted the nation of water, Rock Shinobi's troops have not seen the coastline yet. Water-style water rushing wave. The A-level water style developed by Senju Toburama was used by Terumi Mei, a ninja who succeeded in the limit, although I dare not say that it can be the founder of Senju Toburama. But looking at the entire current era, there are few people who dare to say that in terms of water style's accomplishments, it can rival Terumi Mei. The violent flood smashed open the gate of the confined Kirigakure. Terumi Mei, who had not returned to his hometown for 10 years, rushed into Kirigakure and concentrated chakra in his throat. Jumping onto the top of a telephone pole, Terumi Mei looked at the central area of the village with eyes wide open, marked with a huge, water, administrative building. Immediately afterwards, an angry yelling resounded throughout Kirigakure. Yagura Yagura! You sinner who treats Kirigakure as his own toy 10. Get out of here. Teacher Ming is really excited, but understandable. Bai followed him into the village. Next to him, a ninja wearing Mist Shinobi forehead protector brandished a shinobi sword and slashed at him. Bai raised his hand and waved, an ice mirror resisted in front of Shinobi. The other side's expression changed in shock. Ice escape? Snow Clan. How could it not be annihilated? However, it is not waiting for him to ask Bai about his inner confusion. A bone knife has pierced two from the other side of the body, piercing his throat mercilessly. Witnessing Kimimoro's unrelenting style, Bai Meiyu frowned slightly. Kimimaro, this is Kirigakure's companion, there is no need to kill him. They are enemies. Kimimaro said coldly. The 7 ninja swords are still there, son of Might Dai, Konoha's blue beast. Might Guy is here to enlighten me. Guy, be serious, this is war. A large number of ninjas from the rear also rushed into the village quickly, fighting with Kirigakure's many bloodless ninjas. The result can be imagined. Advertisement not to mention that these mist ninjas are non-blood successor ninjas. After more than 10 years of blood mist rule, living in fear all day long, fearful all day long, and I don't know when I will die. How can these fog tolerants be able to fight? Right from the beginning of the war, Mist Shinobi showed a state of defeat. Yèyuè Guāng stood at the top of Kirigakure's gate, and wanted to watch the movie as if he had to watch the scuffle below. There is no need to shoot at all, okay? Lie down to win, lying down to win. Quan, did Erzu have a choice? Yèyuè Guāng looked at the chaos below, and suddenly confronted the current Konoha Anbu captain who was following him and had put on a Konoha Anbu gray vest. Uchiha Quan asked. Second pillar. You mean Sasuke, right? A pair of black-rimmed glasses was added to the bridge of the nose, and Uchiha Quan, who had the attributes of a glass lady, responded. Very entangled. I haven't given me an answer yet. I know that he admires Uchiha Itachi very much. For him, it is a very difficult choice. If he chooses to stand on the side of the filial son, will he kill him? Upon hearing the question of Yèyuè Guāng, Uchiha Quan could not help but hesitate. Although she is determined to kill Uchiha Itachi, she is not a person who likes to kill innocent people indiscriminately. She couldn't handle Uchiha Sasuke. Uchiha's ancestor brother controls Brokan. If you kill Uchiha Itachi, what should he do if he comes to you for revenge? Yèyuè Guāng asked the third question, making Uchiha Quan more and more scratching his claws. After a while, he pleaded with a pitiful expression. Then, Lord Guang, can you help me? You girl. Yèyuè Guāng stretched out his hand and pinched her. Slippery, full of collagen on the face. Spray, youth is invincible. Puff boom. Suddenly, a violent water dragon in the distance lifted the ceiling of the Mizukage building. That is also the S-level water style developed by Senju Tobarama, and the water dragon bites. And to perform this trick, it is Terumi Mei. Yagura, where are you? Come out for me. Terumi Mei stood on the roof that was blown away in extreme anger, her enchanting facial features full of anger. 80% of them were transferred away by Obito. See that Terumi Mei was found with Yagura. Yèyuè Guāng compares his eyes with the invisible electromagnetic wave that envelops the entire Kirigakure in an instant. And continue to spread outward, spread again. After about a few seconds, 4 men wearing a large cloak of red clouds on a black background escorted a small child who was only 15 years old. Reflected in the vision of Yèyuè Guāng's confinement. Advertisement, to the southwest, at a distance of about 80 miles, we will soon be on the coast. Yèyuè Guāng raised his head and shouted to Terumi Mei on the top of the Mizukage building. Terumi Mei was startled, without saying anything, and chased in the direction that Yèyuè Guāng said. Yèyuè Guāng was just about to turn around and head together. At this moment, Bai below suddenly raised his head to report. Master Everbright caught a group of very strange people. Yèyuè Guāng looked down and found several familiar faces in the crowd frozen by being done behind Bai. Quan, you accompany Ming. Yèyuè Guāng ordered, yes. Uchiha Quan threw flying thunder god kunai, and immediately caught up with Terumi Mei. And Yèyuè Guāng was a flash of thunder, and suddenly appeared in front of the misty ninja captives whose feet were frozen into popsicles. Gatlin Killer, green. Cage level shame, Chojuro. Spray, there are many acquaintances. 680. Mist Shinobi Ninja, why have my Hyuga eyes? For the so-called Byakugan killer, Hyuga Heishi wanted to take back the Byakugan he took from the Hyuga family during the Third Ninja War. Now that the opportunity is so close at hand, how could it be possible to give up? Without a word, rushed straight up, he buckled the blue-right-eyed Byakugan abruptly. Seeing that the other party was acting so fiercely, Chojuro, who was the same age as Shiro and Kimimaro, repeatedly begged for mercy. Don't mess around, okay? We are also forced, if you don't obey Fourth Mizukage. No, not from Yagura's order, we will be killed. However, Yèyuè Guāng didn't care about the shame of this future cage level at all, and instead focused on being held by Kimimaro. His face was full of wrinkles, and he felt that he was going to die in the next second. They were much bigger than Sarutobi Hiruzen. This stuff is, Yèyuè Guāng pointed at the old man and turned his head and asked. Master Yuan. Kakashi, who has dealt with Mist Shinobi many times, stood up and explained. Older than Onoki of Rock Shinobi, the highest elder in the village who survived the Sengoku period has a status equal to that of Mizukage in Mist Shinobi. Oh, Yèyuè Guāng nodded suddenly. Just when Yuanshi thought that Yèyuè Guāng knew his lofty position in Mist Shinobi and was ready to treat himself politely. But after hearing Yèyuè Guāng's mouth faintly floated 2 words. Killed. Chapter 124 Learn from the same class, never die, second more seeking subscription. You can't kill me. Being older than Onoki, he has survived from the Sengoku era to the present, and has been a super living fossil. Although Yuan Shixing has lived for a long time, it does not mean that he has lived enough. When I heard Yèyuè Guāng say those 2 words, I almost jumped up with excitement. Fortunately, Kimimaro suppressed him from behind. I am the chief executive of Mist Shinobi. Killing me will only cause even greater chaos in Mist Shinobi. Master Yuan said with excitement and indignation. Kun did not see Uchiha Obito, that anti-human licking dog, killed Kirigakure so many people, but did not kill the old man in front of him. It is enough to see his influence in Kirigakure. Compared to Konoha's Sarutobi Hiruzen, I am afraid it is only high and not low. That's why Runtu saved his life. But with such power, he did not gather his strength to resist the tyranny of Yagura, Uchiha Obito. It means that this old guy can't match Utatane Kaharu, Mitokado Homura. These people are the goods of number 1 hill. When the village was in danger, he failed to use the power in his hands to rise up resistance. When I was over the difficulties, I wanted to get a piece of the pie. When Kakashi described Yuanshi as matching Mizukage in Mist Shinobi, Yèyuè Guāng had already decided to kill him. Kill you? Did I say to kill you? Yèyuè Guāng turned his head and turned his gaze back again, with a dazed expression on his face. When we launched the attack on Mist Shinobi, you were already old, didn't you? The faces of everyone present were startled. A few seconds later they all suddenly realized. A group of ninjas of Cloud Shinobi connected and said. Yes, yes. This old man died before we came. Master Everbright said to kill him? I didn't listen. Has anyone heard that? When we found him, he was already a corpse. How could we say that we killed him? The captured Nagjiro, Ao, and many others, including Kakashi, Might Guy, and Konoha Shinobi, were all dumbfounded. Can you tell nonsense with your eyes open like this? You won? Yuenshi was so angry that he almost didn't rise up. He has been alive for so long, and he has never seen anyone who dares to do so. This scene is almost like Konoha, who was on the top of the ninja world when the Sengoku era ended and the ninja village era was established in the early days. Two monsters, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, joined forces. B Village didn't dare to criticize it at all, the feeling that Konoha said it was what he said. In the next second, Master Yuan only felt a sharp pain coming from the throat. Looking down, he saw a blood-stained bone spur that had pierced his own throat. Advertisement. Master Yuan turned his eyes white and collapsed to death in the next second. Yèyuè Guāng announced. Mist Shinobi's supreme elder teacher died yesterday, and now the supreme administrative power of Mist Shinobi is fully taken over by 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei. Who has any opinions? The captured Mist Shinobi ninjas swept their heads down, and no one dared to refute. Yagura escaped and Yuenshi died. Under such circumstances, dare to jump out and oppose it. Are you looking for death? White, you serve as the captain of Mist Shinobi's Anbu, first lead these guys to clean the battlefield. Yèyuè Guāng said again. Yes, Master Everbright. White nodded in response. What's going on over there? Yèyuè Guāng turned to look to the southwest, west of the water country South Blue Shore. Yagura, you actually colluded with the outer village Renin. When seeing Yagura Godachi, who was walking side by side with Akatsuki's quartet, Terumi Mei couldn't force her inner anger, so she immediately wanted to make a move. Wait. Sister Ming. Next to him, Uchiha Izumi raised his hand to stop Terumi Mei, Sharingan half empty behind the women's glasses on the bridge of his nose. After observing the flow of chakra in Yagura's body for a few seconds, his face suddenly changed, astonished. Sister Ming, he is controlled by Sharingan. Terumi Mei also showed incredible color. If you think about it, the transformation of Yagura's character is too great. When she recalled now, she also felt that no matter how fast the other party's temperament change, right? If he is controlled by Sharingan's illusion, then everything makes sense. Thinking of this, Terumi Mei immediately looked at Uchiha Itachi with eyes that wanted to kill, gritted her teeth and said. Is it you? No, it's not him. Sister Ming, also forcibly holding back his inner anger, Uchiha Quan shook his head and said. Uchiha Itachi defected to Konoha 5 years ago, and Mist Shinobi's reign in the Blood Mist lasted for a full 10 years, that is to say. There are other Sharingan owners in this organization. Terumi Mei said it, and the tone became more chilly. Take Kirigakure as a toy and ravage the school in our village. You must destroy you. However, facing Terumi Mei and Uchiha Izumi, two female ninjas with extraordinary skill. Advertisement. The Akatsuki group of 4 on the opposite side did not lose their calm at all. Uchiha Obito, who has the pseudonym, Afei, screamed. Oh, I was discovered. Seniors, what should we do now? Alfie and I will take 3 tails back. You two will be cut off. Itachi, Kisame. Black Zetsu proposed. Really, I thought I could leave here quietly. Hoshigaki Kisame shrugged and took off the big knife Samahata behind him. Have you betrayed the village? Kisame, Terumi Mei asked in a cold voice. For one of the 7 ninjas who was once known as the Mist Shinobi Weird, she met before she left Mist Shinobi. It's just that the two are not familiar with each other and they didn't even say anything. The man who used to be able to complete any difficult task for the village would actually betray the village. This makes Terumi Mei feel a little bit chilly. Terumi Mei, it's been a long time since I saw you in 10 years. You seem to have found a very nice man. Hoshigaki Kisame smiled strangely. I didn't betray the village, I just found a truly ambitious goal. After all, I am sick of this hypocritical world. If you don't understand what you are talking about, let me go. Terumi Mei's hands suddenly formed seals and spit violent waves from her mouth. Wang Qianhao. Water-style water rushing wave technique. Hoshigaki Kisame waved his hand and chopped the violent water shockwave in half, then smiled. The ability of Big Sword Samahata, have you forgotten it? A large amount of split water falls on the ground, directly transforming the entire coast into a big river and connecting it to the sea. Yes. Terumi Mei let out a sneer and suddenly disappeared where she was. Hoshigaki Kisame's face changed, then instinctively felt the sense of crisis from below. The hot acid breaks through the water under the feet and rushes to Hoshigaki Kisame's face. Lava-style solving monster technique, so fast. This time Hoshigaki Kisame didn't even have time to wave Samahata to resist. This is second Hokage Senju Tobarama's water instant body, water-style water ride wave technique neighbor. On the other side, Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Quan looked at each other. Meeting the former classmates again is endless. Chapter 125. Don't be too self-righteous, third more seeking subscription. It's been a long time, Quan. Uchiha Itachi silently pulled away the buttons of Akatsuki's red cloud cloak on the black background, and pulled out a hand. Anyone who is a little familiar with him knows that this means Uchiha Itachi has entered a state of preparation. Can you stop calling me that? I want to vomit. Uchiha Izumi's big eyes were empty and his stomach was nauseous. Uchiha Itachi. To be honest, he was a lot like asking Uchiha Izumi Sasuke how it was. However, due to his identity as a spy, it is difficult to speak, let alone Kisame, who is responsible for monitoring himself, is present. But then I think about it, Sarutobi Hiruzen and others are all over, do I need to worry about this? Uchiha Itachi was extremely entangled at the moment. The truth about Uchiha's genocide, Quan should know it, right? Did he tell Sasuke these things? How did Sasuke react to this? If he makes any unexpected decision, is it too late to rewrite Sasuke's mind with distinguished heavenly gods? Just when Uchiha Itachi was thinking about it with the expressionless look on his face, Uchiha Quan suddenly sneered and said, "You are thinking now, if I tell Sasuke the truth about Uchiha's extermination, should I use Shisui's distinguished heavenly gods to rewrite his thinking, right?" The 683 10,000 years unshakable iceberg faces finally showed different expressions at this moment. And it was incredibly shocking. Uchiha Itachi has joined Akatsuki for 5 years, and other members of the organization have never seen him show this expression, right? Still the same, Uchiha Quan's face was even more cold and mocked. You have always been like this. You only think that your own path is the right one. You attach your own thoughts to others. At that time, there was no other choice. After a long silence, Uchiha Itachi barely gave an answer. Don't talk about these high-sounding reasons anymore. You just keep your brother. You don't care about the lives of other people. Even Uchiha at that time did not have the slightest possibility of war Konoha. But if the truth is made public, or create turmoil, or at least let innocent women, children escape. This is at least better than sitting and letting others kill. Advertisement however, after Konoha's senior management gave Uchiha Itachi, as long as you kill the tribe, you can keep your brother safe, in exchange. His broken soul could no longer be restrained, choosing to slaughter the most innocent women, children of the family, including the mother. What is no other choice? Isn't it just for the sake of the younger brother to sacrifice others who don't care? However, Uchiha Quan no longer wants to argue with Uchiha Itachi. Yèyuè Guāng taught her, don't think so much like Uchiha Itachi, just follow your own heart. And now, Uchiha Quan's heart is to kill the enemy who killed his mother in front of him. In the next instant, the pupils of the two facing each other suddenly shrank. Sanbuyu was reflected in the scarlet eyes. What? What? Both sides spread their hands at the same time, and continuously took out countless shurikens and kunai from the ninja bag and threw them towards each other. The endless collision of blades, sparks splashing in, also made a constant symphonic and crisp sound of dang dang dang. Uchiha Itachi's face changed suddenly, and suddenly he found that Uchiha's spring, which was originally opposite him, suddenly disappeared. The vision in front of him flickered, but he saw that the other party had been bent down and appeared in his lower position. Immediately afterwards, he had no time to land before he picked it up, and the grip was marked with a special character, kunai, which pierced his heart from bottom to top. Flying Thunder God / killing technique, Flying Thunder God? Uchiha Itachi saw through at a glance. After all, when he was sensible, Namikaze Minato was still alive and had the opportunity to see the power of Flying Thunder God. However, when the kunai of Uchiha Spring pierced Uchiha Itachi's heart, the other party turned into countless crows at once. Illusion? Do not. Is it the crow clone technique? Numerous. Basidi quack. Crows flew by Uchiha Spring, gathered in the air and changed into Uchiha Itachi again. Shisui's summoning beast. His other eye is in Danzo's place. It has now been recovered by Everbright. Uchiha Izumi turned to Uchiha Itachi and looked at Uchiha Itachi coldly. You too. You think you are out of the category of a clan, and stand on the moral high ground to look at the contradiction between Konoha and the village. But what have you done? You are too self-righteous. Uchiha Itachi was silent, and suddenly sealed. Advertisement. Fire style great fireball technique. Fire style, the symbol of Uchiha, fell from midair. Compared with the usual Konoha shinobi, this trick is many times more powerful. Humph. Uchiha Quan coldly hummed a seal that was completely different from that of Great Fireball, which she learned in the Book of Seals. Fire-style firefighting arrow. The moment the two sides collided, Uchiha Spring's arrogant fire suppressed Uchiha Itachi's Great Fireball. Such a powerful fire style, faced with the violent fire style coming back from the counterattack, Uchiha Itachi frowned. In desperation, he could only close his right eye and open it suddenly in the next second. The original Sanbu Jade turned into a triangular windmill, dripping blood and tears. The indestructible flame released from the pupil of the eye immediately swallowed the extinguishing arrow of the fierce fire, and then returned to the Uchiha Spring. Uchiha Quan saw this unknown black flame, and his expression changed at the same time. Fortunately, Flying Thunder God was left behind in advance, and only after evading and retreating did he avoid the ending of being swallowed by Amaterasu. Is that the ability of your Mangekyo? Uchiha Spring frowned. Left eye Tsukuyomi, right eye Amaterasu. Uchiha Itachi covered his right eye, which was constantly shed blood and tears, and resisted the pain that Mangekyo brought throughout his body. I have something to ask you. No way, I can only use Tsukuyomi to shut the opponent into another world and ask about Sasuke's situation. On the other side, while Uchiha Itachi and dried persimmon ghost dumplings were blocking Uchiha Spring and Terumi Mei, Uchiha Obito has already launched Kamui to pull himself into a different space with Yagura. And Ju also sneaked back into the ground under the package of Nepenthes. Hey, come back to me, you two pervert, Terumi Mei shouted furiously. However, Hoshigaki Kisame, who held Samahata high, stood in front of her again and sneered. You have indeed become very strong, Terumi Mei, but unfortunately not strong enough to ignore me. When Uchiha Quan tried to rush from Flying Thunder God to stop the weird masked man, Flying Thunder God Kanai was knocked into the air by the orange-red skeleton arm that emerged from Uchiha Itachi's body. Do you think that only you have that? Uchiha Izumi spoke with a cold voice. The silver-white skeleton, in Uchiha Itachi's stunned eyes, is looming on the surface of Uchiha Spring's slender body.